Yes, I finally changed that damn quote. Hey everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Friday. It's time for me to continue on building the Imperial Knight Preceptor CANIS Rex for my very good friends at eModels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for all your model making needs, all of them, all the needs you can imagine, all the needs you can't imagine, all the needs you'd rather not think about, but you have anyway. eModels is the place to go. So yes, welcome to the eModels YouTube channel. Yes, I finally remember that. I'd be forgetting to change that quote every week, and you can't imagine the sudden panicked blast of Photoshop and Movavi and all kinds of software in the last 5 minutes before we went live there to get that quote in there, to re-render the pre-roll and everything. Anyway, I'm just going to, before we get going, I'm going to do a very quick check on my computer to make sure it's not overclocking itself, because it's going very noisy. Okay, no, that's fine. Just running a bit warm because it's warm today. Yes, welcome. We're crapping on with this today. Now, we might actually get this puppy finished. Move him into shot, it might be better. I know you can't, all you can see is the top of his head. But hopefully we might get this puppy finished today. Because I'm building this now in advance of, at some point in the coming weeks, I'll be painting this as a video build and a video painting tutorial for eModels. I'm just waiting for them to get the stock from Games Workshop back in, so it's just waiting for that at the moment. But yeah, we've got it quite a lot done so far. We've got the torso mostly done. We've got all the armour pieces up here. We've got the carapace. None of this is assembled together. We've got the Las Impulsor built. That's ready and waiting to go. None of this is glued together yet, but what we've got to do, we've done the cockpit and Gefahrten with the Princeps in there, so Hector Cerberin, and we've also got the walkie version. Now, you'll note, of course, if you've not watched the previous streams, that we haven't glued on most of the armour. That's because I'm going to leave most of the armour off for painting. So I've got some of the armour parts in here, and I've got the rest of them on the sprue. So I'll get them off and cleaned up. And then when it comes to painting, we'll keep a lot of these off the sprue. And obviously not everything is attached. The carapace is not yet attached because I've got to put the cockpit in there. This arm is not attached in, but it's glued into a pose. Now, and before we get going there, very quickly, because I forgot to mention, I do have the live chat here in front of me. You can probably see it on the screen. Welcome to everyone who is in. I'll have a quick look at who's in. But don't forget, of course, like any of the streams that I do, it's all about you guys having a place to hang out with other friends in chat while I just crack on and waffle in the corner. So what I'm really doing is not that important. If you are watching this embedded on the eModels Facebook page or on the eModels website or somewhere else, click on the YouTube icon that's down in the lower right hand corner underneath the video player. That will take you to YouTube, where you can join in the live chat and watch at the same time. And I'll have a quick look at who's in chat in a second. Don't forget, of course, as this is a stream for eModels.co.uk, first of all, please keep it clean in the chat. Please keep it family friendly, because eModels caters to all ages of model builders. And don't forget, of course, it is an eModel stream. Please don't mention other model retailers in the chat. Obviously, anyone that will be a competitor to eModels. I've got blue tack on that there, look. Anyone that will be a competitor to eModels, it's a bit rude to come in the chat and start talking about other places to buy stuff that eModels sell. So please don't do that. But we shall have a good time if you don't. I'm just going to get this bit of blue tack off because it's vexing me. There we go. I was loosely putting things together with blue tack and I knew I'd have some left. Anyway, my fan is... I need to hoover my computer out again. My fan's kind of a bit loud today. Yes, it's a bit disturbing, but everything will be fine. Do let me know if the stream falls over. I'm going to do one quick check on my computer again, because I'm just paranoid. We are at... 37% CPU. That's alright, that's fine. I did have to switch my computer to high performance mode for some other things, so probably because I've done that. Anyway, nonsense you don't need to know about. So yes, we're going to crack on today. I'll have a quick look at who is in chat. As always, like I say, this is just about you guys hanging out. Cy Reynolds was the first in. He says, "Down, how are you, Fox?" Hang on. "Down, how are you first, Fox? I call hacks." Well, there you go, because I was in first. But then Cy Reynolds went away again, so I don't know if he's in chat at the minute. He's not active right now when I tried to at him. Wendy Hickson and William Rayborn are in, and Panzer Koenig. Welcome to all three of you. All three of you too. Dear Lord, Fox, it's gone wrong already. It's just chaotic nonsense already. We have Michael Johnson's coming. Welcome, Michael. Hello. Wendy Hickson, we have John. Who else have we got coming in? Michael Johnson says hello to me. Edward Leonard, the Squishy King of the Squishies, is in. Welcome, Edward. Hello. How are the Squishies doing? Cy Reynolds is then back in chat. He says, "Afternoon, everyone." Welcome, Cy Reynolds. He won 2 golden demons. Yeah, good painter. I don't know if you heard that. I whispered in my microphone. Man, I picked up his 2 golden demons he's won. My very good mate Cy Reynolds. I always have to say that because it makes him squirm with embarrassment, and I enjoy it. So yes, welcome to Simon. Hello, hello. Big hugs to you. And that's everybody, I think, in chat at the moment. Now, I don't obviously expect a lot of people to be in chat on these Friday streams because a lot of people are now back at work, or it's Friday afternoon, you know, you'll be doing other things. But we shall have a good time. If you are watching, do come and join the live chat. Let's have a look. William Rayborn says, working on the Zaku during the show. Hopefully I'll finish the denubbing and singing. And then Panzer says, William is singing. I'm assuming that's autocorrect for sanding. Yes. Sanding, singing. Right, so we've got most of this built. We need to do all the little bits and bobs. So I'll put these over here out of the way, safe and sound. Now, one thing I did realise, Michael Johnson says, Fox, hello. Hello. One thing I did realise, I haven't built the multi-laser. He's got the tilting shield there, but he hasn't got his... I've totally skipped a part of the instructions, so I need to build the multi-laser first before we do the next bits. Squishies are good, Fox, yes. If you don't know, Edward's got some sea jellies as pets. 3 sea jellies. Squishy, squashy, and one I can't name because it's a family-friendly show. And they're the best pets in the world, and everybody in my community loves them. So he's the Squish King at the moment. So we're going to build the multi-laser. So I need some parts. I'm going to put my lenses of seeing on. Now, when I do have these lenses on, of course, it does mean that that iPad there with all the chat on it will be a complete blur. So if you want to get my attention... First of all, I need to clean the lenses so I can see. If you want to get my attention, please put your comment in big fat capital letters so it stands out a little bit in the chat. Or if you want to, you can do a super chat by pressing the dollar symbol in the bottom of the chat window. That will put your comment in a coloured box so I have no way to miss it, and it'll also support eModels a little bit. There you go. You can do that if you want, but if not, just put it in capital letters. Or if you want to at me, please at me as @ModelMakingGuru. I'm in chat as ModelMakingGuru, even though this is an eModel stream. So don't at eModels because I won't see that. But if you're at Model Making Guru, it'll do. I don't know if you can see it like that. Give it a little orange box where my name is. Well, no, there's a comment for me there. Right, so we'll make the multi-laser first. So it shouldn't take too long. It's literally. Oh, there's a front door. That'll be a package of some sort. It's literally, I think, 2 parts, 3 parts. Give me one moment. I'm just going to let Mama Fox know there's a package because. You might not have heard. Oh, then again, no, they don't need to sign for stuff anymore, do they? I don't need to worry about it. Nobody signs for anything anymore. They'll just leave it in the porch. Right, so we need 3 parts. 27, 26. Oh, Amazon, your thing have been delivered. Brilliant. I've got no idea what it was. 27, 26, and 38 is what we need. Yeah, I suddenly thought then. I thought, oh, Mama Fox has got her headphones on for telewatching. She might not hear the doorbell. But then I realised nobody signs for things. Right, 27 is there. That is one slight advantage of the situation at the moment is you don't have to, when the doorbell goes at 9 in the morning or 8 in the morning or whatever, and some guy delivers something at 5:30 Good Morning Bird song, you don't have to suddenly run out of bed and hastily throw a dressing gown on to go and answer the door because there's a bloke there with a parcel for you. You don't have to do that anymore. You just saunter on down at your own speed. I've just heard the front door going, so Mama Fox did hear it. So that's 27, 26. And then we need A38. This is the specific sprue for the Canis Rex kit. So those 2 bits are on there. However, I need A38. Let's just have 5 minutes of trying to... There it is. I found it. Blimey, that was fast. And I also need part 100. So there's A38, I think. Or is it? No, that is 99. So that's not the part I wanted. Now we have the hunt through the sprues. A38, which is a sprue. Does it say in instructions which sprue is which? Have we done that on this one? Have they gone all Bandai and given us actual... Oh, it's the decals. They've gone all Bandai and given us actual sprue lists. I can't remember. No. Nothing so helpful. Oh well. Let's find sprue A then. It's like they say, this is on sprue A36. Or it's part A36, but the sprues aren't actually labelled with letters at all anywhere. So A could be any of the sprues. Good luck finding that. A36. I'm looking for a wishbone shaped thing. It's faster to look for the actual part than it is to look for the number. A30, there it is, A38 even. 38, A38. Yeah, this sprue is not in any way anywhere labelled A. So there you go. If they just give you a thing in the front instructions saying here's all the sprues, this one's A, that would be easy. But they don't do that. So, Games Workshop are fantastic. Second only to Bandai, but they could learn some things from Bandai. Okay, so I've got them, and I need part 100. Part 100, which could be on any sprue. Again, we have to hunt around, hunt and peck, like hunt and peck typing. I'm going to guess that. I know what it looks like. Yes. The thing is, with Games Workshop kits, you get used to searching for the part by the look of the part and not by the part number, because they are so randomly arranged that there's no point looking for the actual part number, because it could be anywhere on any sprue at any time. It's a lot faster just to look for the specific part. And it does come in handy in some of the older kits. I do have a Valkyrie that I need to build. And the thing with the Valkyrie is there's no part numbers on the sprues. There's loads of sprues, but no part numbers. Some of the older kits have that. They don't have any part numbers. It can be quite challenging. But luckily all the parts kind of look unique. I can't find 100. Can't find this part at all. It'll be somewhere really obvious. I've got to find it because it's what I use to attach me multi-laser to Imperial Knight. 52, 48. I'm going to look for numbers now. Welcome to the streams where I spend most of my time hunting for parts on sprues. 100, 100. 37, 9, 11. That one. I've only got 4 sprues, Foxx. Come on, it can't be that hard. 82, 46, 50, 73, number 73. Come on now. 127, 109, 192. Looking more promising on this sprue. I'm not seeing it though. 101. I've got 101. Ah, there we go. It's 100. It's edge on. I'm looking for that, like a half circle shape, and it's edge on. Oh, that was frustrating. Yeah. So some of the older kits, they don't even have numbered parts. They're just literally parts on, like the Baneblade, I think, if I remember rightly. But the Valkyrie is certainly just 3 or 4 sprues of just bits on sticks. It's not. Yeah. You get used to it, though. All the parts are fairly unique. So, right. Squishies are good. Fox says his word. Where are we up to? Pironotta says hello. Welcome, Pironotta. Welcome, my friend. Forgot he was on, says Mayhem. Welcome, Mayhem. How can you forget me, you bad man? Peter Davey. The magical frame hunt. Yes, bingo, says Michael Johnson. Hurrah, says Peter Davey. Cy Reynolds says, I'm sure I've told you before, Model Making Guru, but one of the chaps that actually arranges the sprues, because he used to work at Games Workshop, once told me his job is to smush as much into a sprue as possible with no concern for part order. Yeah, I remember you telling me that, and it's kind of the only logical conclusion I came to anyway, that it really is just keep the sprues to a minimum and get as many parts on a sprue as possible, which is, yeah, fine, because it keeps costs down, so you can't complain with that. But yes, can be frustrating. These little bits first. Clean those up first. Put that there. So we've got some little bits to clean up. Very different to Bandai, for example. Yeah, it is. I mean, Bandai seem to do the same thing. Bandai managed to minimise the number of sprues whilst getting everything on sprues really efficiently and in order. So, like, when you're building a Bandai kit like a Gumpler, the first step is generally, you know, a handful of sprues. And it's like all the parts you need are on those sprues, and there you go. They're all in numerical order. Whereas GW just tries to get as many bits on sprues as possible, which is it's just a different way of doing it. It's not the end of the world. At the end of the day, I'm quite happy for that to be the case, as if it means that I get high quality models like these. Like I say, I do consider Games Workshop second only to Bandai for engineering quality. I don't want to do that one yet. If GW were to like turn their manufacturing expertise to traditional models like, you know, tanks and planes and things, and not tabletop stuff, if they suddenly had a spin-off company that just made like military vehicles, real world military vehicles and things like that, like a, you know, like Dragon or Tacom or someone, my god, they just wipe the table with a lot of people, I think. Not at first, maybe, but yeah. They'd certainly... There's a few manufacturers you can think of that you well know that they would certainly blow out of the water straight away. Imagine that. GW started making like tanks and planes and things. It'd be great. I'd be like, wait, you wanna give me crisply, fantastically detailed plastic kits, but it's a real world thing? I'll definitely buy that for $1. Or many dollars. Can go there. That's looking pretty good. A little bit of a mould line on it, so we'll just scrape that off. Dream, says Mayhem. I didn't forget you. Who can forget you? I forgot the stream. Forget me, forget my stream. I mean, or forget my stream, forget me. You know what I mean. It'll take more than that to get you out the doghouse, dude. You know how it works. And all meat products, too. Model Making Guru, BBC Television Centre, London, W12. 8QT, behind the water pipes, floor 3, next to the storage cupboard. Meat products are usually the best. I've got the wrong sanding sponges out, but never mind, they'll do. Just get that little wishbone thing cleaned up. A little bit of armour, not amour, that's a totally different thing. Armour time. Snipped off, and that one. So yes, anyway, I hope my fingernail in it then. Hope everyone is well. Welcome to Friday, weekend coming up. I hope you've all had a good week and that you're all planning on having a reasonable weekend. Oops, let's grab that off there. Not a lot really to report from my part of the world. As I've said many times before, I've been trying to get some time to work on my Lehman Russ, my eBay Rescue Lehman Russ, and that's not happening at all yet. I have spent this last couple of weeks working on my big Diagostini X-Wing part work build, and that's ongoing at the moment, so, you know, that's coming on nicely. But other than that, not a lot to report from this part of the world. But I hope you are all well, and as always, but as ever, bench and belly. I don't think Dad's in the chat yet, but bench and belly, because I know why Dad's not in the chat, actually, I've just remembered. Yeah, bench and belly, what are you working on right now? What's your current project? Doesn't have to be a model. Could be a painting or a drawing, could be any kind of crafty thing, could be a diamond art, or you're making a diorama, could be anything. Bench and belly, what are you working on? What's on your bench? And what are you having for your dinner? Or what have you had for your dinner? Now, for dinner tonight, we're having Chinese takeaway. Says to Mama Fox, what do you want for your dinner? And she says Chinese takeaway, and I said Mama Fox gets what Mama Fox wants. My low-fat diet be damned. If Mama Fox wants Chinese, Mama Fox gets Chinese. There's a barrel to drill out there, and I'm really nervous about drilling out las gun barrels. So we'll just get rid of the mould line across the entire of this multi-laser. It's quite easy to remove, it's quite a fine one. Because this is a new model, it's only about a year old. It's a new kit. The mould lines are really subtle and fine, and they're easily removed with the scraping tool. I don't know if this is in stock right now at eModels. It will be, obviously, when they get the restock. If not, it's the Citadel mould line removal tool. Now, as I have said before, don't forget, of course, just before you start asking questions, I don't work for eModels. None of the video team work directly for eModels. We just work. We just volunteer to do stuff. We do all this out of the goodness of our hearts. We're not employed by them. We don't have access to their stock or anything like that. We don't know when they'll get things in stock. But I know some of the Games Workshop stuff is out of stock at the moment. But don't panic. They're getting more stock in. It's just been difficult to get deliveries from all the manufacturers, not just Games Workshop, but from all the manufacturers during the lockdown. So hopefully things should be picking up soon. That's why I'm not painting this thing straight away just yet, because I'm waiting for this kit to come back in stock, but also some of the paints will need to be in stock so I can then go ahead and video it and link to the products in the video. That's that. Looking pretty good. That bit's a bit rough there. We'll just tidy that up a bit more. Something's rattling. What's rattling? What's rattling on my bench? Right, what's rattling? I need to find it. It's something. Hang on, I've got to find this now. What is rattling? It's something in one of my drawers, I think. Nope. Oh, I need that now. I do need that. There's just something rattling every time the desk moves when I... There we go. Well, one of them anyway. It was one of the pots of paint in one of my drawers. There's nothing worse when you're working and you're sanding and you hear dig, 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 because if it's a wobbly desk like this, and it's usually like a pot of paint that's just rolled a little bit, and it's so frustrating. does my bean in. And for some reason my iPad has gone to sleep. Mayhem says Spong. Don't quite know why. Right, where are we? Yo, everyone that said hello. I'm too lazy to reply to you each individually, says Cy Reynolds, but you made the effort. LD is in. Welcome, LD. Hello, my friend. Hugs to everybody. Panzer says bench, a pair of Mong shilkers, awaiting primer. Belly, a pair of chili cheese sarnies, coffee, and a bar of Galaxy salted caramel chocolate. Oh, Cy Reynolds says bench, nothing, reasons. Belly, however, is a French baguette filled with pulled pork shoulder. Ooh. Pulled shoulder, that's really painful. What else have we got? Peter Berg says, good morning from Alberta, Canada. Oh, hang on. Gotta be done. Every time there's a Canadian in, because Paul's in as well. Da, 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 da. I love me Canadians. It's the best national anthem out there, the Canadian national anthem. Oh, Canada. It's just the best national anthem. I used it on my live streams for a long time as just the default title music. So welcome to Peter. Working on an old ICM MiG-3 model, just about ready for exterior paint. I also have a Tamiya 1350 Fletcher Destroyer I'm working on adding etched parts to. Cool. Make sure you put lots of photographs on the eModels Facebook page. Yes. Dee. Right. That's that bit not looking too shabby. Who else is in? LD says, I hopefully will be doing my second night soon once I've tried out a new recipe for the metal parts on a test pick. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Yes. I'm still not fully decided on this thing yet because this is the Canis Rex, so its interior frame, if you want to call Gundam on it, its inner frame is more black than bare metal for the most part, and I'm not quite sure about that. Not quite sure about the best way to paint that. Some ideas. I mean, I've always got the option of just completely ignoring it totally and just painting it however I want, which is potentially an option, because I like to be contrarian like that. But I don't know yet. I do not know yet. And I'm not decided if we're having Chinese takeaway tonight what I will have. Now, if you know me, any of you guys out there that know me from my streams and all my other content, there's no bar on the barrel there. Oh, I wish they wouldn't do that. You'll know that my usual menu from the takeaway, from the takeout, is always starts with wonton soup with an extra portion of shumai and some spring rolls. That's always the starter. But the main course, I'm not sure. I could have some chicken pad thai. That would be nice. I used to have their beef udon noodle all the time because their beef Japanese udon was fantastic. But then I don't know if they changed chef or they changed the recipe. But for some reason, the last few times I've had the beef udon, the beef has tasted. It's had this kind of taste like it's been drenched in lighter fluid and then lit. Don't ask me how I know what that tastes like, but yeah, I know because we had barbecue ones when we were all a little bit wobbly and worse for wear, and somebody ran out of lighter fuel, so they put. They ran out of stuff to light the things. They just poured lighter fuel on the briquettes. It was very stupid. But yes, that's what all the meat tasted like. So it's a weird flavour, so I've gone off their beef. Not that you guys care anything about this. I'm just getting the conversation slot, basically. So I tend to stick to their chicken now. So maybe chicken pad thai or chicken udon. I don't know. Chicken udon's nice. It's not as nice as their beef, but I just don't trust the beef anymore. Right, I need to clean out the mould line from inside some of these recesses. And for these bits here, I think it's easier if I use my scribing tool and just gently scrape it away. Now these recesses in the barrel here, they will have like a black wash in them anyway, so you're not really going to see in there, but it helps clean them out a little bit. And the scribing tool is quite handy for just getting rid of little bits of mould line where there's like a 90-degree corner. If you've ever tried to scrape mould lines where you'll know when you get like a little corner like that, you'll get a mould line, you get a little bit of the mould line left in the corner. Imagine there's like a mould line there and it's going up that, yeah, you know what I mean. It can get quite tricky to get to those. So a scribing tool is a great way just to quickly get into any little 90-degree corners and just get rid of it. Also, it's a good way to make any sort of corners that you've maybe sanded a bit smooth nice and angular again. Angular. I think that will do. Also a good way to get sanding powder and dust out of recesses and corners. There we go. So that's that. That's looking not... No, hang on. There we go. Better. Now I've got to drill the barrel on this puppy, haven't I? I hate drilling barrels at the best of times. On las guns even more so, because they've got this kind of weird... This one's actually not so bad, but they have this weird kind of recessed barrel with the shroud over the top, and it's always quite tricky to know exactly where to drill. Now theoretically, a las gun, which is a laser gun, wouldn't need a hole in the barrel because it would have a lens at the end to focus the laser beam. However, it looks really weird if you don't put a hole in the end, and you might say that the actual focusing lens might be a bit further down the barrel, so, you know, to make sure it doesn't get scratched if you have the lens sticking out the end. This is my own headcanon now, so I reckon they do have holes in the barrels just because the lens is inside the barrel. But the problem with las guns is the barrels are very rarely much wider than the standard drill bits. If you've got the Citadel, I've got a little tiny one there, but that's the useless drill bit. That was flat on the end. If you've got the standard Citadel pin vise like I've got here, the bits that come with it are kind of standard sizes for various Games Workshop weapons. Just see if I have some better bits. I have many bits. That can go back in somewhere. I don't even know where it came from. Where did it come from? Where are you all coming from? Right, there's some drill bits. I assume it came from here, so I'll just randomly put it back in this piece of foam as if it's supposed to come from there. These are quite good bits, but they're all a bit flat. They've not got much of a point on them, so they're not really much use. Let me see if... I hate these things, though. Oh. I can never get these things to... Again, these are all kind of really flat-ended drill bits. I can never figure out how to open these things. I always forget. Do you slide it? I can never... Oh, there we go. It's slidulations. I want... Look, let's try that one. I choose you. Not looking. It's kind of flat on the end, but we'll see. I just want a really fine drill bit because I want to do a test. A lot of people will drill a pilot hole first into a barrel. I forgot to put that back in there. That's fine. Pilot holes are fine, but the only difference between drilling straight into a barrel and putting a pilot hole in a barrel first is you still need to make sure the pilot hole is in the centre of the barrel. Because no matter how many pilot holes you drill, if you get the pilot hole not centred, then your hole's not going to be centred. Yeah. We'll see. We'll just see if we can start with a small hole. Sometimes it's good to start with a small drill that hole and work your way up, rather than go straight in with a drill bit that's almost as big as the barrel. And I hope you can see all this. I don't know. Right, so further in. Not really straight, but never mind. So we'll start with a slightly smaller drill. If you use a bit that's almost this, that's going to be sticking out too far. It's also tricky to get the drill bit to go down the middle of the chuck when it's very thin. There you go. Nope, it's not in the middle. Anybody who's good at drilling and things will be like screaming at the screen about my ineptitude now. We'll just roughly get it. Now, if you use that's really wibbly wobbly. if you use a drill bit that's barely smaller than the barrel itself, if you're off by even a slight hair of a width, then what it means is you'll probably just plough through the side of the barrel, which is why with tiny barrels like this, it's good to start with something slightly smaller and then work your way up the scale. Is this on camera? You can't. I know you can't see it because of the back of my hand, but fortunately for this, my view needs to take precedence. Squeaky, squeaky time! Now, because it's a las gun, I don't need to make a massively deep barrel, and that's not in the centre, but that doesn't matter too much because we can expand on that. Might be able to go in with a slightly bigger drill bit. Get this one out. Might be able to expand it without going through the side of the barrel. I don't know. Let's have a look. Let's see what we can do with this. I'm conscious that if I go too far in, I'll go through the side of the barrel. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to very carefully. Not looking so bad. It gives me a little bit of the side of the barrel. I only need a slight recess because I'm going to paint a little sort of black wash in there. But because it's not in the middle, what I can do is I can take my knife blade and very carefully, that being the thinnest part of the barrel, make this side of the barrel, make the hole over here about the same width. So the barrel looks uniformly thick all the way around. That looks a lot better. Now, it looks a bit scruffy. Put these back in here. I like that drill bit. It kind of works perfectly. Put those back in there. Did that go in there? No, it fell out. Put those back in there. Somebody's atted me. I'll have a look in a second. It can go back in there. Now, that looks a bit scruffy because you can see the rough inside. It's more like a little concave recess than a hole. But what I will do is, I say you can have a black wash in there so you won't see the back of the drill hole. But also, where it's a little bit scruffy and rough, get yourself some extra thin, or your thin glue of choice. Get most of it off the brush. And then just run it around the edge and run it into the recess. Like that. What that does is that will melt any little fluffy bits of rough plastic that have been scraped. And it'll melt them away and it'll just leave a smooth, flat plastic surface because that glue melts plastic, that's what it does. So what you're left with then is a nice, neat, drilled barrel. But like I say, don't worry if you never get. I never get them on. I very rarely get one right in the centre. But the trick of widening it out with a knife is always a good trick. It's very easy. Just make sure you go for the same uniform thickness of barrel all the way around. Now that looks a bit better now. I think you'll agree. My Death Corps of Krieg Infantry Squad advancing are on the way, says Wendy Hickson. Oh, jolly good. Awesome, awesome. Yes. I ordered some Death Corps of Krieg. So I'm building I'm trying to build a Death Corps of Krieg army. And what I keep doing is just buying them and not building them and painting them yet. But I ordered some Death Corps advancing, and Wendy saw them and was like, "Oh, where'd you get that from?" Before you get excited, unfortunately, Death Corps is a Forge World product. All the Death Corps miniatures, and of course you can only get them from Forge World, the Games Workshop Forge World website. So yes, you won't see them in stock at eModels anytime ever because they don't sell them through shop. Right, so we have those bits there. Where are we? Doop-a-doop-a-doop-doo. Talking of food, let's have a look. Bench is work laptop and belly is a bowl of Applejack cereal, says Trevor's Workbench. Welcome, Trevor. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming along. Peter Davey. Bench is an org diorama, scratch build, and a Kickstarter text. Belly is nothing so far. I'm Hank Marvin at the moment. Then you need to do food. If you're starving Marvin, food. Panzer Koenig. I like the Horst Wiesel song, but apparently it's a banned tune. I don't know what that is. I don't even know what we're talking about. What we're talking about? I don't know. Cy Reynolds says, Applejack makes me think of the new Applejack Daniels. Do you have a cereal with JD in place of milk? Peter Davey also has a Rex on order, so we'll spend hours rewatching Fox's struggles. No, the thing is with Imperial Knights, they are really easy. They're not hard to build. I'm inept, but they're not hard to build. Thanks for the flag, for the flag even, says Peter. I always have it on standby ready when a Canadian comes in. Paul comes in all the time, but he doesn't always get the flag because we know Paul. Paul's an old lag. He's been with us forever, so I always have this Canadian flag on standby in emergencies. I'm not Canadian. I don't know, you know, in real life anybody can. I've never been to Canada. I just think it just seems to be the coolest place in the world. So, but they do have the best national anthem ever. Michael Johnson says, bench 135th SDKF said 25122. Oh God, what does it stand for now? Sonderkraftfahrzeug. That's it. Sonderkraftfahrzeug. And I can't do numbers in German. 251. Zweizig. I don't know. Belly chicken vindaloo and then spend the night on the loo, lol. Ooh, vindaloo. At this time of day? Wow. I really crave mapo tofu, says Peter. No day JD, it's still 7:30 AM, says Trevor to Sai. Sai says, this is fair, but remember, Foxx struggles in general with most things. Do as he suggests, not as he actually does. This is good advice. You don't really want to, given the fact that I make tutorial videos, actually doing what I do is probably the worst thing you can do. Treat these more as advisories. More of a gesture. More of a, gesture than a manoeuvre. What I really crave food-wise is a fish supper, but the local chippy is closed till next month. Oh. LD says, metallic black base, dark metal highlights followed by 2 lighter metals airbrushed in select places. Gloss, then thin enamel wash, dark brown, then wipe off most of it. There may be some highlights. I assume that's the frame for the dude. I'm not really sure, because if you look at the artwork, if you look at the box painted one, it's kind of... They just kind of literally paint it black and put some edge highlights on it, which is... I'm going to do some weathering and some stuff to it. They say it's Abaddon Black, then Dark Reaper, Thunderhawk Blue, and Blue Horror. So, like, basically black with edge highlights. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do... I don't know. I might do black as a base again. And then some dry brushing to bring it back to metallic, to, like, brings back some metal edges. I don't normally like starting off with black, because once you start with black, there's not much you can do after that. You know, if you paint something black, how do you shade it? You can't. So, yes. Wendy Hickson says about a Deathcore Creek. I have looked at my squad advancing, Wendy, and I've looked at the numbers on the arms, and I think I've figured it out. I think you've got, like, on the blocks, because I can't do the arms, you've got, like, A, B, C, D, E, you've got all the left arms, all the right arms, and they're labelled A, B, so I'm sure A goes with A and B goes with B. The only thing is they've kind of rubbed off halfway along, so there's a few where I don't know what they are, so I'm sure you'll figure it out. I'm just an idiot. Brian Windmill is in. He says, hi all in chat and Foxx. Welcome, Brian. Hello, hello. Deathcore of Krieg are very neat, says Peter Booth. They are. They're the best. Absolute best. I've got a broken old one here that I use as a test pig for some things. The thing that gets me is they're kind of small even just compared to normal 40k humans. Anyway, enough. Gas masks everywhere. And Panzer says, has Dad dropped one again? No, gas masks for Deathcore Krieg. They all wear gas masks. I have family in Canada, specifically in British Columbia, says Mayhem. Cool. And so says, Adam, i.e. Raging Modeler, suggests that the Amazon parcel was the one he informed you of last night. Oh, okay, cool. Cool. I'm expecting a package from the Raging Modeler, the Raging Bassist. The Raging Modeler as well. The Raging Bassist is his old name. But Mayhem hasn't heard from his Canadian relatives in a long time. Mayhem says, I should come with a disclaimer. I do. Fun fact, says Cy Reynolds, the proposed colour scheme for the frame in the instructions is not how the frame is painted at all. Abaddon Black plus Dark Reaper plus Thunderhawk Blue will not look like those images. Yeah, I know it won't. Because don't forget, these guides and how these things are painted in instructions, this is painted by the painting team. This is not... Yeah. That's like, if you want it to look a bit like this, you can use these colours, but what the painting team's actually done is like loads of glazes and other things and stuff, and they're only like very simple guides. It's the only thing about them. Naughty GW, says Cy Reynolds. Yeah, so that's the thing. If they show them painted just like they are using the colours in the instructions, yeah, they just look like something you watch on Warhammer TV. They wouldn't look like painting teams been anywhere near it. Anyway, mind you, there's no difference to, like, you get any model kit and it's got like a list of 5 Humbrol paints in it for like a Spitfire, but you see the thing on the box says it's beautifully painted professional thing with weathering powders and everything. You're like, yeah, that's yeah. So we need to make the multi-laser, which is simply that splongs onto there. Like there, Jose. Ooh, lovely. Can glue that on now. This just rests. It would seem. I put a little touch of glue on, fat glue on it. Now remember, we use thin glue to avoid mess, but we use the fat glue when you've got something that needs to be structural or support its own weight, just because of the viscosity. Tiny touch of fat glue, and I appreciate you're going to see the back of my hand. Tiny touch of the fat glue. When I say fat glue, I just mean regular Tamiya glue, Tamiya polystyrene cement, not extra thin. That stops it falling off, because extra thin wouldn't do that. And then I can go in with the extra thin and just touch it to there, and it'll suck underneath and glue that in place. It'll help the plastic weld together permanently. Permanently. By the way, nice to see Si in the chat. Nice to have you back in chats and things, Si. Welcome back. Welcome. Big mould line. I'll have to clean that up in a bit. Can't do it now. There's to be glue active on there. Now that can go there for a minute. Athel's in. Afternoon, Fox and Guffinks. What are you looking at, son? And where are your glasses that magnify everything? Says eModels. There you go. Oh, you mean for Guthorm? He steals mine when I'm not wearing them. That's how it works. If everyone wants to know how it was actually painted, I can give you a very close approximation, but DM me because it's long-winded. Or you could just wait till I do my painting tutorial video on this channel with this model. Yes. But keep in mind, Si Reynolds is a 2 Golden Demon winning proper painter, so he can teach you much better than I can. Yes, when I do the painting guide for this, it won't be like Simon's level. Like Simon would spend 6 months just cleaning up that and painting it. Yeah. Ask Simon about backpacks. He'll love you for it. Right, there we go. Also, he used to work at GW, so many moons ago. So this is going to sit, this just slots into place. You've got 2 pegs and 2 little holes. Like the best of things. All pegs and holes. Of course, I can't get this on now. There we go. That can sit there. And what I think I'll do, I think I'll probably glue it into a position, because when it comes to, oh, then again, I don't know. If I put it on the model and don't glue it, it'll just flop down like that. It'll sit in there. Flump. It'll just flop down, pointing downward. It's nice to have it pointing up a little bit. So we'll perhaps glue this in now. Or we'll glue it in once we put it in here. I'm not going to have it rotatable and positionable, so I don't care if I get glue on the little spinning bit. This is going to go on there. But what I might do is not attach it yet, because I do need to paint it. That's the tricky bit. Not just a heavy bolt. Oh, then again, actually, I can probably get to most of that, I think. Yeah, what's the worst? It's all going to be silver metal anyway. I can get to most of that, I think, to paint it. Or should I? Should I leave it off? Leave it off. How is it actually painted on the? Does it have a special like hazard stripes on it or anything? Oh no, it's just bare metal. Okay. Should I leave it off or should I attach it? Can't see a side shot of it. It's basically going to be inner frame colours, isn't it? I can get to most of that. I think that should not be a problem. I will just glue it in. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Don't you worry yourself. So I shall. This is actually, you can leave this unglued if you want to keep it like movable, but like I've said before, this isn't going to be played on the tabletop ever. It's purely going to go and sit in the eModels display cabinets of happiness, and then eventually at some point they may then auction it off or whatever later on if they want to, but it's really just going to sit in the display case forever. And then my belly is rumbling, so if you can hear my belly rumbling, I do apologise. So I'm not fussed about weapons being... Oops. Glue on my mat. Not fussed about weapons being movable or posable or anything. Doesn't really matter. That's going to go there. I shall glue it into a slightly pointy-uppy position though, because it looked better that way. A little bit of glue in there. Hold it. Turn it that way a little bit. Not sure if I can get it to stay where I put it. Oh, in you go. Get a bit of glue in there with you. I've still got the head as posable, but we shall see about that. Right, so I have it pointing. I don't want it pointing up, like into the sky. I want it pointing horizontally. Oops. I'm going to leave that on its side for a bit. Oh, no, flippy floppy. Not quite wanting to cooperate. I shall... Play ball now, please. Play ball. Just a case of leaving it where it can sit and not move. It naturally wants to spin around, you see. Get some on the other side. That might help. Right. Hold it there for a minute. I shall have a look at chat in a moment when I've finished this little battle with my bit. Stay. Stay. So what I'll do is I will... It's probably moving right now, isn't it? And I just can't see it. I'll put that there on some blue tacken. That should then stay like that. Hopefully, if I very carefully manoeuvre it over here to the outer area, leave it, but hopefully settle it. Scaly Models is in. Yay! Hey, Dad. Welcome, Scaly Models. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How was your jabulation? Look at the picture of the frame. There's likely around 12 steps if you factor in glazes and edging. I won't be going that in depth. When I did my painting tutorial, my level of painting is kind of tabletop plus, maybe. So not to Cy Reynolds level, which is like professional, you know, painting team level of painting. Yeah. Yes. I have done bench and belly in my absence, says Scaly Models. We certainly have, because I didn't know whether you'd make it or not. So we did that. Cy Reynolds will be back in half an hour. Dad is saying hello to everyone. Cy Reynolds has to pop to Tesco's for a few bits. I'll be back shortly. Make sure you buy lots of sushi, because Tesco's sushi is cheesy and cheap, but great. Where are we? Where are we? Doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. Just catching up with chat. Mayhem says, for the record, I always have and always will hate cleaning backpacks. Yes. Cy Reynolds, it's an ongoing joke with Cy Reynolds that, you know, he said to me once, you think, because he looked saying to me, because I'm slow building, I take a while to build things, he says, you think you're slow, it takes me a week to do a backpack. I'm like, wow, because of course he's doing it. He's done it professionally, so... what am I doing? I need a marker pen to mark off the multi-cannon. There you go. Yes, this won't ever be played in the game. It's literally just going to be in eModels display cabinet, and they may one day sell it or auction it off. So we shall see. Now we've done that. We've done the las impulsor. That's been done. The next step is to build the other arm and the big slappity hand, which is called Freedom's Hand. And aside from sticking all the armour on, that will be the last step. So. We've got a couple of hours. Let's see if we can get this puppy finished. Ready for putting in a box until I can paint it. So I'm going to need... Now, it may be an impediment here that I can't go too far because I'll need to do some, like, mould line sealing. So, A50, that's not A. I need... Slappy hand. That is the slappy hand in the... There we go. That's all I need. Now, although these are arm parts, so also I might not need that sprue. I need that sprue anyway. 54 and 55. I know what the parts look like. Are they on this sprue? 50. Oh, there you go. 50. 54. Yeah, we go. Right. They might all be on that one sprue. Let's find out. See what I will do before we do that. Just while I'm here, while I think on, getting glued to thing. I need to get a flat surface. Hang on, let me get my glass tray. It's my glass cutting board just for flatitude. There we go. So I need to glue this. I might as well do this while I'm here because it needs to take a while to set and glue. All we're going to do, dead simple for these bases, dead simple. Obviously I'm going to do texture on the base, but I'm going to get some Tamiya regular cement. Get it all over the foot parts. Start with. Doesn't matter if I'm messy because we're going to have dirt and mud on this little base diorama anyway. Make sure your model is actually on the base and not sticking over the edge. Should be sort of in the middle, which is about there. You can position it however you want, of course. Some of the adventurers out there will have fiddled around with the legs and made them all multi-pose, which would be quite nice. I have not those skills, I'm afraid. Can go down there. Go. Now, if you wanted to, you could do a bit of work to pin this model to the base, but gluing it's fine. You'll be fine with no problems. We'll take the extra thin. Give that a second. We'll take the extra thin. Now remember the fat cement, what I've just used, that's to make that stick. Extra thin wouldn't have stuck that. Now I need to go in generously with the extra thin and make sure this runs under every toe, because this is what will really weld it to the plastic, or weld the plastic together. The other stuff will, just not as much, not as strongly. If you can, combine both. But I'm being really generous here. I'm just slapping it on. What am I doing, Ted?
Slap it on.
Exactly. So we're just going to get it to run under the feet. The feet are, unfortunately, the feet are hollow. They're just like they've not got an interior like solidness, so there's not a lot of surface for the glue to take effect. But this will be fine. It will stick, don't worry. There'll be no problems. Now you might be saying, well, hang on, if I'm gluing this to the base, how do I paint underneath the foot? Can you see underneath the foot? No. There you go. That's that. I can get under there with the brush, no problem, to paint the bits you can see. Any bits you can't see, they'll be dark anyway, so that's fine, because it'll get covered in primer. So we'll glue that. I've glued that on there. That'll sit there for now. We'll put that to one side just so it can dry while I'm doing other things. So we'll put that over there. Doodle-doo-doo-doodle. How's my gun looking? Yeah, it's looking all right. Put this away. There we go. Thank you for your service. Right, so anyway, slappy hand type. What's chat quickly doing? La 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 la. All jabbed up now, says Dad. I'm Pfizered. Huge hugs. Athel says, belly tonight might be awesome. Southern fried chicken and hoisin sauce rice. And bench is a mess with wolves being stripped. Who Stallion Harris. Right, so we need some parts. Let us prepare the parts. So we're going to need A54 and A55, which are here somewhere. I found them out. There we go. Now, what might slow me down on this is it's all tubes, and we need to get glue into the gaps and then clean it up. That can take a little while to dry enough to be sanded, so it may be we only get so far today. I don't know. If we can finish everything, that'd be great. But what I'm not going to be doing today is sticking on the armour. And if you missed at the start, I'm not sticking on the armour because that needs to be kept off for painting purposes. Painting porpoises. A 92 and 91. 92 and 91. This is going to be a different sprue now, isn't it? Yeah, probably. 92. What do they look like? Oh, it's that bit with the twiddly bit. It's going to be a different sprue. It's going to be a completely different sprue now, isn't it? Oh, rude words. Yeah, different sprue. Dropping sprues. Fairly recognisable part though. Doesn't mean I'll find it quickly, but it's fairly recognised. There we go. 92 and 91. There we go. Right, so that's there. Now, you may not know this, but here is the plan for eModels for me. As you know, I'm part of the building team, along with Chris and Ted and Colin and Carl and Andy. Current team as it stands at the moment. Andy will be back soon with some more videos, by the way. And I've no plans on changing that, but I have said what I would like to do for eModels is to be like the Warhammer painter type dude, so that I can do the Warhammer stuff for them, and maybe other stuff occasionally, but, you know, Warhammer is where my strength lies. And, you know, painting tutorials. So why not play to my strengths? So hopefully going forward, you know, once this is done and moving to something else, hopefully going forward what I can start doing is lots of video tutorials on how to paint Warhammers. Because obviously over time, eModels will be expanding their Warhammer, the Games Workshop range, not just Warhammer 40K, but Age of Sigmar and everything else, Blackstone Fortress and all the other sort of tabletop games. 45.6. The only thing at the minute is, of course, they got the first bunch of stock in, which traditionally is a small range, just to see how it goes. And then, obviously, the lockdown occurred. They've not been able to get too many restocks since then. So, but that's going to change. Obviously, they'll get more stuff in. But my hope is, obviously, over time, we'll just have a nice library of things I've painted eModel tutorials for, or things I've filmed tutorials for, in the future. Like, I can't wait to build a Baneblade for you on the eModels channel for you guys. That'd be great fun. Because, you know, Baneblade is the best. A48 and A52. 48, 52. There's lots of good things. Lots of good things we can paint together. That's my plan moving forward, is to be the eModels miniatures guy. One that does the tabletop. How is that supposed to? Tabletop stuff. Okay, there we go. Hard to tell where that bit actually ends and the tree begins. Those two. And we have 50 and 51 as well, which are... I've seen them. They are 27, 24, 50, 51. I've seen 50 and 51. Where have I seen them? Be on a different sprue again, won't it? Oh no, there you go, 50 and 51. They are some other nippers because they're only little enough. So that's the plan anyway. So obviously once this is built and ready, then I'm just waiting for stock to come in. We'll crack on with the painting of this, get this done, and then going forward, we'll get lots of wonderful Warhammer things painted up for you guys to watch on the eModels channel. Because they do stock the eModels now. They do stock the Games Workshops now, as you know. Right, so let's get these bits cleaned up. I need more than one container, don't I? Let's use my Coca-Cola tin. There we go. Right, there's my focal point. It's there, Fox. There. I'm filming there. Right, for the camera. For the Emperor, for the camera. So, what's chat doing? Gluing it down is fine, then base it with sandy mixed paint that goes rock hard within 6 hours and start to build scenario furniture. What I tend to do is I like to focus on the model, not the base, so I'll probably just give it some Agrellan Battlehand or some Agrellan Earth and a few tufts. I might do some diorama parts on it. I don't know yet. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So, we need to get these bits cleaned up first. Let's do that first, shall we? Okay. Cleaning. What else has been going on? Nothing else I can really update you with, to be perfectly honest, has been going on. There's so many relevance. Ping. Oops. Oh, don't forget, of course, eModels now are, from Monday gone this week, from the 12th, from like last Monday, eModels are open again as normal. Although there may still be, like, restrictions in line of, one person inside the store at a time, that kind of thing. I'm not sure. I suspect that will be the case. But yes, for all intents and purposes, from the start of this week, just gone, the eModel store is back open again. Do keep in mind, of course, because you can have your stuff, you can order stuff through the website and just decide to go and collect it in store, save yourself a shipping cost. Or you can order some stuff and then go and pay for it in store if you want to. Again, save yourself shipping cost. You can go and collect it at the time. But don't forget, of course, eModels is not a traditional shop. It's not like a shop with a shop front and you walk in and it's shelves everywhere and you can wander around and have a poke through the shelves and see what's there. It's a warehouse. It's a working warehouse. Basically, it's a warehouse and they've got a customer counter at the front. And that's, you can get to the customer counter, but you can't wander around the warehouse for obvious reasons because it's a working warehouse. So you can't go and browse and see what's there. I mean, you can ask and stuff. So I would say if you're going to go and visit, you're more than welcome. If you're going to go along and get stuff while you're there, rather than just turn up and pick things up, just either order it online in advance, so you can just turn up and collect your bits, or have an idea of what you want. Make sure it's in stock on the website, and then go in and have a chat with James and the gang, and so on and so on, get their advice about stuff. Keep that in mind, especially right now with it being still, post-lockdown. Everybody's really busy at the moment, so ideally, if you want the best experience, just have an idea what you need or want, or just order it in advance, but then go and pay for it or collect it when you go into the store. It's not a normal shop. Okay, mold line removal. Yes. Mold line be gone. That should be good when we can get back to going down to eModels, because I've got my Millennium Falcon to take down. I've got it's sitting on a shelf at the minute, literally collecting dust because I can't put it in anything that's sealed. So I need to get that back to them guys. I think Chris has got a few builds he needs to drop off, and so's Ted. Do the little Christmassy builds and stuff. That's looking pretty good. Got a little bit of mold line on this ribbed cable, but I can just quickly scrape that away with the tool. Now, I remember last week I showed you how to go in and get rid of the mold line from within the little ribs using your scribing tool, but these are so small you're not going to actually see that, and that'll be painted. It'll probably a dark black anyway, or a dark grey. That's fine. Next, who's next? Sarah Jane's in. Hi, I'm a bit sweaty as it's warm and sunny and I walked to hospital and back. Welcome, Sarah Jane. Welcome, welcome. Sarah Jane says, catch a rat! Panzer says, bummer, I was so looking forward to seeing Foxx build a Tiger tank with through all tracks. Well, I have in my stash the Ryefield Panther Ausführung J for a while. That was until the Perfect Grade Millennium Falcon came out. And then I said, can I do that instead? That's now gone to Tony at Helgen35, who's another one of the eModels builders, who sadly hasn't had a lot of time with work and everything to do anything for the last few years. But he is still working on them, and he's working on that tank, and he's still got his helicopter that he was doing. So he's still around, so he's got that. But yeah, you won't see me doing the tank with through tracks, I'm afraid. I'll try and make sure I always avoid the situation where I need to do individual link tracks. Right, that's there. We'll get the other one done because we might need to get this glued before we do too much cleanup. I did do the little SDK I've said, whatever it was, at the start of this year, the little sort of review video for eModels. That was just purely because it had just come out and ICM said, will you review it to eModels? And they said to me, well, yeah, no problem. And I couldn't just open it up and look at the bits and say, this is a great kit, because if you open a box and look at things on sprues, that is not a review. And every time I see someone do a review of a model by just opening the box and looking at sprues, I just want to go there and slap them with fishes. Because it's not a review. That's not a review. It's looking at things that are... If you're going to review a kit, I want to know, how well does it go together? What's the quality of the mouldings? Is it easy construction? Is it bad construction? Are the instructions accurate, or are they completely wrong? Have you got a lot of support from the model, or does it require a lot of customization? That kind of thing. That's a review. If you're looking at bits on sprues, then you're just looking at bits on sprues and saying, it looks nice. That's not really a helpful review. Like saying, I need you to review this new sports car that Ford have just released, but you can only look at it through the glass window of a showroom. You can't actually drive it or touch it. Yeah, it's not going to work, is it? Review. So it always makes me mad when people do that. So I'm like, no, I'm going to have to build it and paint it so I can say to people, is this worth your money? And in the end, it was like, yes, it's a few challenges to it, but it's a really nice kit and it's good value for money. So there you go. That's a review. That goes together like that. Will I need to clean up any... There will be a mould line. Not looking too bad. Not looking too bad at all. There's a couple of little bits that... Oh, I meant to show you, by the way. If you remember last week when I made the Las Impulsor, there was a mould line down the middle of this bit here. If you remember, I'm on camera. Yes. The mould line that goes down the middle here. I can't clean the mould line out inside that recess because you can't get to it. And the one here you can get to, but it looks just like part of the mechanical bits. But there was a mould line on this little sleeve of this cuff around this round bit here. I glued everything together and did the squishy bit, but it didn't fill that gap. And I knew that if I tried to use any fillers or sprue glue on there or anything like that, it would probably mess up that nice crisp relief of the strip around the top and bottom. So what I decided to do in the end was take a bit of a liberty and just put a tiny little bit of plastic card on the gap. So it just looks like part of the machine. Once it's got a primer coat on and paint on it, you won't know it's not meant to be there. It looks like part of the machinery, part of the metalwork, and it covers up that gap. So if you're ever stuck and you've got like a mould line, you can't quite get, or a seam I should say, that you can't quite get to fill, or if you can't get in there to sand it away, just get creative with a bit of plastic card. It looks fine, and once that's painted, you won't know. You won't know. Right, so let's get the other bits we need. We need 91 and 92, so there's those two. 91 and 92, so a quick look at chat. It's a very slow pace, I hope, Andy, says Dad. Oh, and Mayhem says, I'm okay, Dad, I'm just playing Skyrim. Ooh, spooda! La 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 la. We're to catch up with chat. That's a nice kit review, and I have a resin kit of that. Says Panzer, thank you very much. Sarah Jane says, Mong are doing a 1/24th version of their 1/12th GT40. Oh yes, me want and like it big time. Yes. Somebody may be building that soon. Okay, so get this bit cleaned up. Hey Sarah Jane, you'll like what I'm going to be doing in the coming weeks. Yeah. You'll have a particular... Oh, you might, I assume you will anyway. Thing that I've got on my channel that's going to be coming up in the coming weeks. You're going to, I think, quite like it. Get this bit cleaned off. Scrape a big chunk of this nub away and then we'll sand it. My belly's making all kinds of funny noises. I do apologise if you can hear it on camera, although it's kind of funny. It's doing all the rumbly noises. It can be. I'm not too fussed about this nub because this isn't a surface you'll ever see, I don't think. We'll get rid of it anyway and can make sure it's not impeding any movements. Where is my file? There's my file. There's my file. There. There. Yeah, I just need to make sure it's not going to obstruct anything if it's in, because it's inside a component. This, it's just need to make sure it doesn't obstruct anything. Panzer CANIS says, Foxx, Viejo do a water-based filler that is good for those hard-to-reach areas. Yeah, there's loads of filler options. It's just getting to them is the tricky bit. I don't like to use, I mean, I'll be honest, I hate using fillers. I'd much rather use either sprue goo or the glue that I've assembled the kit with, because I'm lazy. But it's not so much that as just getting into there and making sure, because it's got like a recess here. This little strip in the middle is recessed, and if I put filler on that and start to sand it, you're going to end up with a smooth bit. It's impossible to keep that crisp edge of the recess. So my thinking was, yeah, I'd rather stick a bit of plastic card over there and hide the gap than put filler in it and then risk losing that little recessed crisp edge altogether. It's like a trade-off. I'm sure there's other people out there that will quite happily do it, but I've never been good at cleaning up fillers without making a mess. But I am also lazy. I'm just kind of lazy. If I can use sprue goo or, like I say, the glue that I've assembled the kit with, do it. I will do that because laziness. Laziness. I'm more than happy to admit that I am a lazy modeler, which is why in my own videos I always show people easy ways to get good results rather than, you know, if there's a way to get a result, then there's usually an easier way to get almost the same result without spending as much energy, and I'm all about that. Showing people, because when people are learning, you know, when somebody's learning how to, say, paint something, they're not going to be at the skill level right at the start of being able to paint, say, complicated glazes or transitions. And I'm not aiming my videos at those, at the, you know, the experts. So I want to go to the people that are at that point and say, there's time for you to get to things like glazes and transitions and all that kind of complicated stuff. But let's just get you started first. Let's get you started with some simple techniques. You can build on the more complicated ones later. That's what I do. So my laziness has paid off. In a way. Right. So that's that cleaned up quite nicely, I think. Yeah, almost nicely. A knife blade here because the scrapey tool's not quite doing the business. And I'll get my scriber just to get that little recess there. Clean that out. There. I'll just brush some of that dust off. How's that looking in the light? Keep in mind when you see a mould line on a model, it's not always actually a visible mould line that you need to scrape away. When you've worked on a mould line and it's still there, like you've been scraping and it's not going away, do keep in mind that sometimes it has actually gone. It's just a difference in colour of the plastic because the plastic's been stressed. But don't pull your hair out trying to get rid of a mould line. Hold it up to the light and see if it's actually a mould line. And this piece here, little wedge. That's pronounced Vallejo, right, Fox, says Peter Davey. Yeah, Vallejo. It should be Vallejo actually, but it's Vallejo. Technically, it should be BA, not VA. Oh, my cutters. Where's my cutters? Vallejo. But let's not start that whole conversation. Hey. Get the end off those little nubs there. Piston all cleaned up. Gentlemen, clean your pistons. Yeah. Bit of a file on that. We'll keep it nice and clean. These little end pieces, I've got a gentle file for these. There's like a little raised cover to the joint, like a bolt head almost. So if I just very gently file it with my gentle file, I'll keep the raised bolt head shape, but I'll get rid of the little nub. There's also a mould line going right through the bolt head, which doesn't help either, but hey. Take what we can get. That looks pretty smooth. Doesn't look quite so smooth. But I will be weathering this. Going back to questions of how you're going to paint the frame and stuff. I will be weathering this. Because keep in mind, these vehicles... Hang on, let me just check something on my computer. 1 second. I've just had a thought. Oh, there we go. Yeah, these vehicles, these knights, these Imperial knights, these knight suits, they are hundreds and some of them thousands of years old in the lore of the game. So there's no reason at all that they should be pristine and clean like you see on the box art. Although there is some bizarre weathering on the box art where one of the decals has loads of chipping on it, but nothing else is really chipped. Now a lot of the Canis Rex is bare metal, which doesn't really lend itself to any weathering at all. So, well, there you go. But we'll be doing, so it won't be like lots of chipping and rust or anything like that, because they're well maintained. Although in the lore, Canis Rex isn't as well maintained as other ones because it's the last of its kind and it's stuck on a stolen ship. But it'll have weathering, it'll have dirt and dust and mud and things like that. I might even do a little bit of battle damage here and there. We'll see. But it will be weathered, so you know me, I can't do a shiny clean build. Although, again, aiming this at Sarah Jane, one of my upcoming projects, will have to be a clean build. And it'll be one that Sarah Jane likes. I reckon Sarah Jane's going to like it. Get rid of my dust. Pardon my dust. Quick look at chat while I have a swig of water. I'm playing Icewind Dale on Switch and listening to Foxx in one ear, so 6 girls battling the odds. Says Athor. Me like what you're doing, Foxx. You banged your head again. Yeah, you're going to like what I'm doing. I've not got it yet, but you're going to like it. I'm just going to say 1/8 scale. If you've not seen the teaser, it's on my channel. Go and watch it later on. But there's a teaser on my channel. Panzer Koenig says, it's water-based. You paint it on, then with a wet brush, wipe the excess away. What are we talking about? Oh, I see, the water-based filler. Yes. No, it's more about just the clean-up. It's fine. I don't mind using a bit of plastic card. I know my limits. I'm a painter, not a builder. Right, so we've got them bits ready to clean up these other bits. We'll get this bit glued together first, though, because we need to be making sure we can seal up gaps and things early as possible. So this bit first, this giant water urn, big tea urn, needs to go there. That little wedge goes on the bottom there. Wedge. So that's like that. And it does show it's got to be a dynamic wedge because it says dynamic movements. Yes, there's always dynamic movements. 1 second. Quick adjustment on the computer. There we go. If the camera wobbles, it's because the camera's attached to the computer desk. Oh, we've got to get these 2 bits clean. Oh, man. I'll do these 2 bits first as well. I forgot that bit. Hang on a minute. Foxx, I doubt it. What, that you'll like it? 1/8 scale. Got 4 wheels. Very shiny. Dee 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 dee. There's nubs. Nub be gone. There we go. Nubs. Remuvulated. We'll have to see if we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone here, because we're going to have a mould line to remove, or a seam. I always get mould line and seam confused or mixed up in conversation. We'll have a seam line to fill on this component, but then this component goes into the other bit, which is also going to have a seam line we need to fill. Yes. Wheels within wheels. I don't want to do too much cleaning up of these nubs as well, because I need to make sure I glue this together, fill the gap, and then sand it to make sure I don't get any like low spots or high spots. So what we'll do is we'll get these two pieces glued together, and then these little nubs here, when the glue is cured enough and I can sand it and get rid of this gap down the middle, of course we can take away those nubs. Don't take away my breakaway. There's an old advert for you. I'm going to run some glue down the middle. You've seen this a million times before. Generously run some glue down the middle without pushing it together too much. Yeah. I'll try not to get it all over my fingers while I'm doing it. Give it a second. It's only loosely pushed together. And then we go squish. All that plastic melts and bubbles out and fills that gap. Yes, this is how I like to fill gaps. Dad says to Sarah Jane, I know what it is and I think you'll like it. Like I said, there is a bit of a teaser on my video, posted it a few days ago. Just titled Soon, or Coming Soon, I think. Yes. 1/8 scale. You'll like it, trust me. We'll put that there in the metal thing. Ow. Away from the other bits. Foxx, nope, I don't like it. Ooh. How can you not? Oh. That's the one thing that every human being in the world likes. There's no way to not like what it is. Unfortunately, not playing Skyrim slowly as I'm level 31, says Mayhem. I should play it slowly, dude. Honestly, if you rush through it, then you just sadness for everybody involved. Right, now, the trick we've got now is I need to clean that thing I've just glued together. I need to clean the mould line on that up, but it goes inside this armed unit. And if I put it in there now, I'm not going to be able to clean up the... This is the trick, you see. This goes together like this. This sits in there. Like that, you'll see. And then this bit sits in somewhere in there. Like that. Now, if I do this now and I glue it together, can I get into enough of that to clean the mould line? Cleaning it in there is going to be tricky if I glue it now, so no, we're not going to be able to do that just yet. So let's just leave that for the moment. I can glue these two things together when I've cleaned the other one up. Yeah. I build race machinery, not into cars where the engine doesn't fit. I don't know. Yeah, but... I don't know. If you're telling me you don't like that car, one of the finest muscle cars ever made. Yeah. Yeah. I'm shocked. Shocked, and you're not on the Christmas card list anymore. Next. Yeah, glue these two things together. So I need to clean this one up. Shocked. Absolutely shocked. Okay, clean up here. Do remember, folks, if you're in the chat, for the love of dog, please ask me questions if you want. Ask questions, whatever you want to do. Just give me stuff to talk about. I'm running short on conversation today a little bit. Yeah. So do give me things to talk about. I don't know why I'm being so secretive about it. What I'm talking to... I'll start again. I don't know why I'm being so secretive. What I'm talking about with Sarah Jane is I'm going to be doing... the 1/8, the fan home 1/8 scale Dodge Charger from Fast and Furious. Yes. The part work. I can mention it. It's part work thingy. No, I haven't seen Fast and Furious, so I believe it's Danny Toretto's. Is it that his name? Danny Toretto's Dodge Charger with the engine stick. I don't know. His dad's Dodge Charger. I don't know. Anyway, it's just a big ass car. Looks mint. I'm looking forward to doing it. 8.5 kilograms it weighs. It'll be as big as this desk. I'll be lucky to fit it on this desk. I can't wait. Fox, does it have Burt Reynolds behind the wheel wearing his cowboy hat, or is it not a Camaro? Oh, I've just answered that. No, it's Charger, dude. Wait, wasn't that a Firebird? Was it a Trans Am? That was a Firebird, wasn't it? Smokey and the Bandit. Was it a Trans Am or a Firebird? I can't remember. A Trans Am, I think. I don't know. How long will it take Fox to build a 1/8 scale car? Well, I'd guess probably 2 years, because it's 100 issues over 2 years, I think. So, yeah. But I'm torn, you see, because it's the one from the movies. It's just like it's only got one seat. It's got one driver's seat, and everything else is taken out. And there's a NOS thing in the driver's side. But I know that at some point, probably someone will release like a 3D print or resin interior if you want to just make it into a Dodge Charger with full interior. And it'd be nice to give it a full interior and not make it that specific car, but just make it a car. But that'd be expensive, that would. Right, so these need to go together like this, you'll see. We have one here and one here. These two pistoniums go together like that. And they wiggle a little bit. Wiggle it just a little bit. And what we'll do, we won't glue them together just yet either, because they need to lock into these things on the back here, which isn't going to work that way, is it? Yes, they lock into these things on the back here. So I need to make sure they're not too wonky or out of whack or anything, because they need to line up properly. So we can do all that when we come to that bit. What's next? We can start on the hand of the Slappity hand. We can start on that. We might not get this finished today. You can see this coming now, can't you? Right. So A41. Now we need the one with the handy parts. That's handy. You see what? Shut up. That's handy. So we can put that there, out of the way for safety. In fact, we'll just sprue. Don't want that. I'm running out of places to put things now. Oh, I need to clean those up, don't I? Why don't I clean those little tubes up first? We'll do that first. And then we'll do the Slappity hand. It's called Freedom's Hand, but I prefer to call it the Great Hand of Slappity is my preferred name for it. Feel the vengeance of the Great Hand of Slappity. Chaos Demons. Did you all like my quote at the start of the video? I forget to update. You weren't here at the start, you missed the joke. It's too late now, but... Remember, folks, if you want to get my attention in chat, please either at Model Making Guru, because I'm signed in as my own profile, or put it all in capital letters so I have at least a chance to see it. Or you can do a super chat if you wish, but I'll miss your comment otherwise, because it's all out of focus from where I'm sat, so... At the very least, at me, at Model Making Guru. Now, these are ribbed pipes, so quite big, so time to go down and get rid of the mould line from between every single rib. Yes, it's tedious. Yes, it looks fantastic. Yes, you're having to sit and watch it. Yes. All I can think about is my dinner. Wonton. Possibly udon, possibly... I don't know, you see, because... They also do a really nice curry rice and chips. I want to go all kind of urban about it. Yeah, I'll have like curry rice and chips and a couple of big sausages. So I could go curry rice and chips. Ooh. That would be certainly a food decision. See, me cleaning out this this mould line like this. This is Cy Reynolds' influence. Yeah, I've known Cy Reynolds now for a few years. And if there's one thing he's taught me, it's just to slow down and take your time and do stuff. And I have to admit, I have started to enjoy the build part of this hobby more in the last few years. Of course, if it was a like terrible 45-year-old Airfix kit that was nothing but 100% challenges, I wouldn't be feeling quite so happy about it. I really would want to just, like, gouge my eyes out with spoons. Can I still see that, or is that hidden? I can still sort of see the mould line, but it's kind of hard to see. It might just be stressed plastic, I think. I think we'll get away with that. I think that will do. Yeah. Oops. The giant hand of Kashlap. Yes. So Jane says, Trans Am Fireburg and Smoking the Bandit. That was it. The Lehman Russ will never get finished, says Peter David. It will. It will. Don't worry. The good thing about Partworks is you'll get like 2 or 3 of them and it takes a couple of days to film them and then you're done them for the next month. So don't panic too much. The Lehman Russ will be completed. Station will be completed on time. The Emperor will be impressed. There will be Star Trek landings. What are we doing now? Okay, there we go. We'll clean up the little nibble away at the mould lines in the recesses. I know this is really tedious for you to watch because you can't see any of it. But hello. Welcome to my stream. You may not see much, but Kajit assures you this is for the best. It's also quite hard to get hold of this one. Oh dear. It's so tiny. Like the mealworms we give to the birds outside. It's a tiny little thing. Doodle-doodle-doo, yeah, I don't know if we'll get the Freedom's Hand finished today. Can't quite get in there. That one's not looking so bad. But mould line. Mould line. That's pretty good. Complete. Next. Freedom's Hand. Station. Oh, station says. I get it. Bill and Ted. I get it. Every time the hand of Slappity is used, the pilot cries, and the defy fingers say slap. The defy fingers. Defy fingers. Right, so we need 41. I don't really need to look for the numbers, do I? This is the hand parts. 41 and 49. 41 and 49. This won't take too long. I'm cutting it off camera, but that's just easier for me with the sprue waving around. This is where it verges on Gumpler, this build. I was hoping that the whole thing where Bandai made if you get Warhammer things would really branch out into something phenomenal. Some real partnership between Bandai and Games Workshop. Like, you know, Bandai... Imagine if... You know, you've got Games Workshop models for all your tabletop play, but imagine if Bandai just did display models that aren't intended for gameplay, so they're not gameplay scale. But imagine if there was a huge range of just display models of, like, Warhammer stuff, vehicles and figures. Oh, God, and Bandai made them. That would just be like trouser tent time. Seriously, trouser tent time. It really would. New from Bandai, 1/35th scale Baneblade. Hello. Oh no. Oh yes. Nearly disaster. Hang on. The finger pinged off, went up there, bounced down and rolled over the desk right into my waste paper bag, my garbage bag, but landed on top of some tissues, so it was easily visible. Ooh, I had a panic then. I was going to have to rummage through my waste bag. I mean, it's only full of, like, you know, kitchen roll that I've used to clean up dust and paint and stuff, but still, it's a pain in the bum. Yeah, but imagine that, though. Like 1/35th scale Valkyrie. Oh. I know they don't do 1/35th. It's not Bandai. They do their UCS hardgraph, but imagine if they did like Bandai style kits, but in I'm having thoughts about that now. Oh. 3 and one of those, and that's the entire pieces for the hand, I think. We can get that done. Let's do this. Now, this is a bit of a fiddly clean because every finger has spikes on it, not just rivets, but spikes. And you can't get rid of the spikes. You have to clean the mould line between them. It's a bit frustrational. A little bit frustrational. Candygram from Among Us says, hi everyone, I can't join in chat, but I will try to listen in. Welcome, Candygram. Thanks for watching along, even if you're just watching. I thought you were in earlier on. Mayhem says, Freedom's Hand, also known as the Fist of Democracy. You are free, citizen. You are part of the Imperium of Man. We have brought you freedom. Freedom is punctuated by massive explosions and gunfire in the background. Exactly. Mayhem says, what more tent than a insane blade? Oh, yeah. Imagine giving Colin a 1/35th scale Baneblade kit. Oh, dear Lord. Such things as you can't imagine. Yeah, that'd be amazing though, like Bandai making Warhammer kits. Not intended for, because obviously if they couldn't do it for gameplay, because that would then compete with Games Workshop, but just purely for display purposes, like proper models. Oh, wow, that'd be amazing. It would be truly amazing. Ball knob. Now that's not a knob, that's a spike. That's not a nab, that's a spike. Knuckle nubs. Knuckle nabs. I'm really, really hungry. Somebody outside is doing the lawn, cutting the lawn. I really get this impression that all my neighbours seem to cut their lawns like 3 or 4 times a week, because I've only got, you know, live within hearing distance of a small number of houses, but they're always lawnmower sounds. It's like, how many lawns have you people got? How many times do you need to cut the grass? I mean, we've got a little man that comes and cuts the grass once every couple of weeks, and we haven't seen him for like about 6 months, for obvious reasons. So it's like a jungle in our back garden right now. You know, it's not normally that bad. I'll clean all the nubs off this bit. Ooh, big, huge chunk. Chonkula. Hello, come back. What, like a 160 scale Titan? I think that would be beyond the budget of most human beings. Because a 160 scale, you do realise that a 160 scale Titan will actually be smaller than a Warhammer tabletop scale. Because although these aren't actually a real scale, heroic scale isn't a realistic scale. It's probably around about one. It's somewhere between. I mean, that's a deathcore and that's a normal sized figure, so it's probably somewhere between. I would guess if you take him as a normal sized human being, Warhammer's probably somewhere between 1/35th and 1/48th, somewhere, but not that you can really pin it down because it's heroic scale. But the deathcore dudes are like the most realistically shaped. They're just like normal human shapes. So they look between like 35th, 48th, maybe up to about 52nd scale. The 160 likes to be smaller. I've got the sniffles. Right, let's get these all bits cleaned up. We'll do the big flappy bits first, then we'll do the fiddly fingers. What time are we on? 4:42. Yeah, we might not get this finished today. I very much fear. But we'll make this will be the last live stream for this build though. Because even if I don't get everything finished today, what will be left will be little bits of cleanup and then sticking. So we'll make this the last live stream for this build. Because there won't be enough left for another one. And I don't know when I'm going to be doing the actual filming of the painting tutorial. So we shall see. Oops. I want to know what Cy Reynolds bought in Tesco's. Is he back yet? I want to know if he actually bought sushi. Because if you go to Tesco's, you have to buy... There's two things you have to buy from Tesco's if you go to Tesco's. You have to buy sushi, and you have to buy that big 12-pack of donuts. Yeah. The not Dunkin' Donuts, the Krispy Kremes, that's it. You have to go to the Krispy Kreme section and buy that whole 12-pack, and then eat them all with your face, all at once. And then you have to get the sushis. Get all the sushis. It's not good sushi, but it's fine. It's not, not outstanding sushi, but it's still nice sushi. It's sushi at the end of the day. There's nothing, you can't go wrong with it. La 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 la. Get this bit sanded down. Here's a question as well, right? Here's a question as well. It's the 21st century. We're able to edit the human genome. We can get rockets that can land that way. We've got an internet. We've got instantaneous communications all over the world. How come lawnmowers still sound like they were made in 1936? Why do lawnmowers still sound like tractors or jet? How is that even how have we not got very quiet, super awesome lawnmowers by now? Like, there's no difference now between a lawnmower that I can hear through my window now and when I'd hear my neighbour mowing his lawn in like 1975. Except occasionally it was just a non-electric one that goes. But the electric ones, is still. I mean, I know basically it's a swirly blade and a sucky thing, but still, you think there'd be some development. How is this not a thing? Also, why don't we have personal jetpacks and food in a pill? Yeah, there you go. All the issues. Right, so this bit here. So there we go, we'll clean these bits up. There's some more ribbed nonsense to clean. I love all these interior details, pistons inside the hand that you're never going to see because they get covered up with armour. But I like them, these pistons. Very, very Luke Skywalker-ish. Can I get this science? Can I get my words out? Can I get the file in there? I was about to say. I don't want to sand away any raised bit, but I can't tell if it's supposed to be raised or not. Excuse me, I need to clear my throat. 1 second, guys. There we go. Sorry about that. Didn't want to deafen you. Oh. Alright, so that's a little rough around the edges. Does that go together like... Okay. Yeah, so when I do weather this, it will be weathered to reflect the fact it's probably hundreds of years old. But it's been maintained and well maintained. Maybe not in the last few years, but it's been more or less well maintained. If you don't know the lore, it's the last surviving Imperial knight from House Cerberin, and it escaped the destruction of its home world on a stolen ship. And it was the knight itself, the knight suit, Sir Hector Cerberin, who was the pilot, princeps, and a small retinue of, like, you know, people to help maintain it, got away from their homeworld on this stolen ship, and they now travel the galaxy, helping out people that are, you know, people of the Imperium who are under attack and need the help of an enormous knight. So it's not got access to all the normal things to maintain it, so it's not going to be perfectly maintained. That's the thing. So I've got a bit of freedom there, a bit of leeway. It's basically, it's become a free blade. It's no longer a knight of House Cerberin. It's just a free blade, because there is no House Cerberin. Sir Hector was the head of House Cerberin, and this was the head Imperial Knight. That's why it's called Canis Rex. You know, big dog, king dog, dog king, king of the dogs. Of course, there is no House Cerberin anymore, because all the other ones have been destroyed by the evil forces of chaos. So it does lend itself to some weathering and interpretation of this, if it's a storied history. You know, they're on this stowaway ship. They can only use whatever resources they can find. They haven't got access to proper foundries and STCs to replace components. So if he takes a beating in battle, it's going to be a pig to get things fixed. I don't know if he even has anybody for any AdMech type engine seers or anything with him at all. I can't remember now. He's got I can't remember what they're described as that he takes with him in his retinue that escape with him. I can't remember if they're engine seers or just something else, but a small group of folks. From what I've understood, they're just there. They're like a support team. I think I could be misinterpreting it completely. I don't. There's only limited information about Canis Rex. Not like there's a book with it as a character. It's just a little bit of lore, I think, in one of the codices in the index. About it, really. It would be cool if Games Workshop, when they do the instructions, do like Tamiya and put like a bit of history on the instruction sheet about whatever it is you're making. You know, like Tamiya have like a description of like you're building a tank and it tells you about the tank and when it was designed and all that kind of stuff. That'd be cool if they did that. But alas, they don't. Right, that's 2 parts of the Slappity hand. Thankfully, the mould line was round the middle, so I don't have to worry about that. Take a look at chat. Where we're up to. Panzer Koenig says, Foxx, the next generation of lawnmowers is happening. Robotic, autonomous, and with headlights. Yeah, but they'll still be like... and sound like 1930s Russian tractors. Scaly Models have just finished a Five Guys hot dog with extra cheese, extra bacon, and fried onions plus fries. Burp. My lawnmower makes a quiet whir because it's electric and runs off a battery, and I love it, says Candygram. Because lawnmowers are meant to make up the neighbours on Sunday when you're trying to have a long lay in bed, says Athol. Yeah, exactly. Five Guys food sounds really good. Might just get a burger today. We don't have Five Guys around here. Sarah Jane says, lawnmowers are meant to get men out of the house and the noises so we know they're doing something. Yeah, that's true. I agree, says Max McGinn. Hey, Max. The lawnmower sound is crazy. Meanwhile, Panasonic made a fridge that can move to where you're sitting. Exactly. A guy I used to work with noticed that as there was no specific rule against it, he bought 2 sheep to keep his lawn trimmed. This was in a residential area. Yeah, they're just cats as pets. There's no law against them. Have a sheep in your garden. Sheep. Might be a bit difficult in our garden. It's not that big. Anyway, that's the chat up to date. Let's not discuss Five Guys stuff because I've no access to it and it sounds delicious and it makes me sad. Got fingers to clean up. You need Haynes. I need another container. Let's put these in there. Whence cleaned. Right, now this is going to be fiddliness because we've got the mould line going right down the middle and we've got spikes. And this is a pig to clean up. So, this is one of the things that makes doing chaos stuff a pain in the bum. Sometimes. Well, that and if you build chaos stuff or death guard stuff with all the spikes, you tend to get stabbed a lot by the plastic. It's that sharp, some of the stuff on chaos. Some of the chaos, like you build like a chaos rhino and some of the bits you stick on are so pointy. It's like, ow! End up like little dimples in your fingers because they're that pointy and sharp. You on camera? Almost. I know you can't see any of this. But there's not much to be done about that, I'm afraid. I've got to use my knife blade for this. Not that I like to do it, but it's the only thing that can get into the little gaps. Clean up them mould lines. Mould lines. Do, 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 do. Where that came from. Belly's gonna rumble. Belly is rumbling like a rumbly thing. Thing is, it's Friday, so I know what's going to happen. I'll finish the stream at 6 or whenever. I'll be like, right now, let's order the food. Food order, that'll be 2 hours. Oh no! Oh no! No! Because Friday's always really busy. But sometimes they can drop the food off in like 45 minutes or half an hour. But sometimes it's like there'll be 2 hours. Oh, but my belly. You're only round the corner. Oh, so frustrating. I don't like waiting for food. Do. Oh, there you go. I had a special moment last night. If you don't think I'm completely special, let me demonstrate to you how exactly special I am. First thing I'll say, by the way, is I'm making quite a mess of these fingers with this scrapey knife, but it doesn't matter because they are fingers, and they're going to be heavily weathered anyway by just being used. So I don't mind if there's a few scratches and scrapes in the plastic with these because I want them to look a bit battered and beaten because they're going to be used a lot. He's doing hitting and grabbing with these things, so yeah, they're going to be a bit scraped and scratched. I just don't want to break any of the little pointy spikes. Yeah, so the other night, I've been working hard all day, and I thought, you know what? I'll just sit down. I'll play some Fallout for a bit. I turned my Xbox on, turned the surround system on, and I sat there. And then I thought, oh, I had to go and do something on the computer, which is like across from the room. So I thought, well, I'm going to need like 10 or 15 minutes. I'll leave the Xbox on. But I'll just turn the TV off because I don't want to, burn the screen in. So I basically just, I brought up the playing Fallout. I brought up the Pip-Boy on his arm, the computer. I thought I'll just leave it there. I was in the middle of doing something. So I just turned the telly off. And I go over to the computer. I'm doing something. About 5 minutes later, I hear this noise. And it makes me jump. And it sounds like something hitting my window. Now, occasionally I'll have like a bird hit the window. This is like 11 o'clock at night last night, by the way. Keep in mind. It sounded like something hitting the window. It was like dum-dum. Like that kind of noise. But it occasionally will get like a bird bangs into the window. Because that's what birds do. And they're like, dumb. But that has a certain sound to it. This didn't sound. It sounded like somebody throwing something at the window, basically. Maybe a little stone or some little. It didn't sound like a stone, but it sounded like something slightly metally, banging off the window or the frame around it. And it made me jump. I'm like, whoa, what? What was that? Now it's 11 o'clock at night. It's not the time of night when a pigeon will be walking around on my window ledge or a squirrel. Because sometimes you get the pigeons and, well, magpies like to do it as well. They walk around on my window ledge and you can hear them squishing against the glass. Then you open the curtain and they look at you and they go, oh, I've been sussed. And they don't know what to do. So I knew it wasn't like a creature on the window. I'm like, what the hell? So I went downstairs, went into the kitchen, plugged in the light. We've got a light in the garden, plugged in the light, and then went round into the back of the house, looked through the French window. I can see the garden, just to see if I could see anything. Like either something on the ground where it had fallen down from the window, That would make sense. Or just something in the garden, or somebody in the garden throwing things at the window. But there was nothing, so I'm like, okay. Heart was racing a bit because it sounded like somebody throwing little stones or something at the window, which means there's somebody in the garden. So I watched for a minute and saw nothing, so I closed the blinds on the French window and turned the garden light off and came back upstairs and carried on doing what I was doing. I was sending emails and stuff, I think. And I just kind of forgot about it. 10 minutes later, same again, like that. I'm like, oh, what is that? And then it dawned on me. And I was like, oh, Foxx, you absolute simpleton. When you play Fallout 4, if you bring the Pip-Boy up and then do nothing for about 5 minutes, your character goes like that and knocks it, hits it, just to like an idle animation. What had happened was I had the TV turned off because I was going to be away from it for about 10. But I thought I don't want to stop the game, so I'll leave it running, but I'll turn the telly off, turn the TV off. So I had no picture, but my surround system was still on. And because obviously the player smacking his Pip-Boy is right in the middle of the picture, of course, it makes it front and centre, so it makes it sound quite loud. So from where I was sitting at the computer, that was basically making that sound come from my window. And I sat there and thought, oh, you absolute schmuck. Because it had been a long time since I played Fallout, and it had been a long time since I'd seen the idle animation, so I'd kind of forgotten about it. I'd forgotten that he smacks the Pip-Boy. So I'm there running around the house, panicking that there's somebody in the garden throwing stones, and it's my video game. Yeah. That's how I work. That's how I roll. I'm that kind of special. I am that kind of special. Sometimes my thought process, when startled, my thought process can be weird, unusual, and not particularly correct or logical. Many, many years ago, it's going back to about, I don't know, 2002, 2003, I experienced my first ever earthquake. Because, where I live in the northwest of England here, we don't really get earthquakes. Little wobble every now and then, but nothing anyway. But I remember it was about 11 o'clock at night, 11, 12 o'clock at night maybe. I was just drifting off to sleep, just starting to wander off to sleep. I'd gone to bed. And suddenly the whole bed just went like that. And it moved about that far, about a foot. And it was just a weird little thing around here. It was just a quick, jidder. But it made the bed shake and it instantly woke me up. And then after that first judder, there was about a minute of just very slight earthquakes, but not really that you'd feel, but just very slight judders. But what happened was, I used to have a wooden CD rack that was about that wide, but about 4 foot tall. And it was just you put it on the wall and you put your CDs in it. And it was just wood. And it was on top of a unit, but it wasn't screwed to the wall. And it was a bit creaky, and it was cheap and nasty. It was a bit creaky. And because of the vibrations, it was making creaky noises. And if I was wide awake and able to look at it, I would have been like, wow, why is that shelf creaking? But because it was pitch black and dark, and I'd just about to drop off to sleep, and I'd been woken with a shock, my brain kind of went through the process of, okay, there was a shake and now there's something creaking. What's creaking? Well, it sounds like wood. Okay, what in my room is wood? Well, there's that CD rack. That's made of wood. Okay, so why would it be creaking? Because a monster's pushing it. This is all in a millionth of a second. This, I'm a 30-year-old bloke and I'm thinking there's a monster in my room pushing my shelf around. Because my thought process is not normal sometimes. And I kind of got up out of bed and turned the light on. I was like, oh. And I was like, but the weird thing is, right, apart from my brain making out to be a complete spoon, which I am, the weird thing was, and I only realised this just after it happened, just about an hour before it happened, my parents had gone to bed. I was downstairs, I was playing on the PlayStation. And it came to, I thought, right, I'll go to bed now because I'm tired now. I think I was playing Half-Life 2 or Red Faction or something. and I was playing away, and I stood up from the couch, and I thought to myself, oh, the floor feels weird. And I thought, what? It feels like I'm walking uphill. Like, I just stood up and thought, what? It felt like the floor had just kind of inclined a bit. And I'm like, why do I feel like I'm sort of leaning uphill? Weird. The floor, maybe there's going to be an earthquake. I thought, maybe there's an earthquake going on. I just can't feel it. And then I went to bed and forgot about it. And then, bugger me, an hour later, there was an earthquake. But it was just weird. It was just like, it just felt like the floor was just angled up a little tiny bit. I don't know why. My brain was like, the angle between my leg and my foot is wrong. That angle is wrong. My foot's like that. Why is that? Maybe the floor's moved because there's going to be an earthquake. And I don't know why I thought that, because I never thought that before. And then, blow me, an hour later, there was an earthquake. Weird. But yes, I thought there was a monster in my room. 30-year-old bloke, there's a monster in my room, pushing my CD rack, because of course when you get monsters in a bedroom, the one thing it's going to do in the middle of the night in its evil way is to push your shelves and make them creak. That's what monsters do, clearly. My brain when startled is an impressive beast, I'll tell you, for all the wrong reasons. I don't know. Never put me in a quick decision making situation. In a life and death situation, you don't want me on your team. Not going to end well. Or it may end all right, but you'll come out looking like a spoon. There'll be some embarrassment. Something's rattling in one of my drawers again. Let me try. I'm going to move this drawer. Hang on. Could it be something in this drawer? Let's try. Yes, it's them. It's them. Let's put that there. There. Now you can... No, you can't. Hang on. Right, you sit there like that. You go there. You just shut up. Get a bit of foam. Hang on, what I can do. I know what I can do. It's vexing me. It's doing my beaning. Big enough. I need a chunk of foam. I need some foams. Oh, where's the foams when you need them? Let's just put a few chunks of foam in a treasury tag randomly. There. It's not going to work, is it? Right. That's not going to work at all. I haven't got any big bits of foam. Darn and heck. Hang on. What will happen now is I'll need a piece of foam at some point. I'll be like, where's all my foam gone? Also, I should just point out the Mentor's yellow. Got 3 of them. 4 of them, actually. Yes. If you don't know Games Workshop, that will mean nothing to you. If you do know Games Workshop, you'll be very sad that I've got 4 Lamenters yellow. Right. Yeah, my Death Guard Land Raider has all the spikes, but I just can't pick it up without hurting it. Exactly, mine just says, ow, ow. When I've worked on like Death Guard and Chaos stuff, you get stabbing yourself. Well, I've seen it now. We have had the blackest black paint than ever. They invented the whitest white paint. I saw a thing about that. It's like 96 or 97% of light is reflected off it. They say apparently the whitest of white paint is so reflective they can use it to deflect heat from the Arctic. Cool. The Dunkelist of Dunkelgelb. Cy Reynolds is back. And Edward Leonard was off to the grocery store. See you tonight. Bye. Take care, Edward. Welcome back, Cy. Fox wants to know if you bought sushi, says Panzer. And Cy says, I actually did, fresh from Sainsbury's new Japanese food counter. Ooh, I thought you were going to Tesco's. I thought you were going to get the packaged Tesco's sushi, which is trash food, but really nice trash food. That's even better. Someone throwing things at Fox's window trying to get his attention. Maybe the redhead 5 doors down got fed up of using the telescope. Steady now. All together now? Muppet, says Cy Reynolds. Absolutely. That explains the polishing fur, says Panzerconi. You spoon, says Mayhem. I was working at... Oh, Lee Stevens is in. Welcome, Lee. Says, I was working away and got back and my wife had double locked the door so I couldn't get in. So I kept throwing stones until she eventually called to say some weirdo was throwing the stones. Called... Yeah. Newsflash, Fox lives above a sinkhole. Anyone else thinking Fox should leave his brain to medical science? Yes. Yes. It would be interesting. remember once when I was at work one day, they were laying a new multi-story car park next door, and they'd laid all the concrete on the first floor, and they had these guys in these little hovercrafts that were there to dry the concrete. And it's basically, imagine a seat and then two enormous fans. So you've got two big fans here like that, like two massive fans, and how can I demonstrate it? Imagine you've got two big round fans, and then there's a seat here with a guy sat on top, and he's going over it. It's like a hovercraft just above the concrete surface to dry it out. So it's like a chair on top of two enormous fans. And I said to someone, I said, that's like one of them. For some reason, all I could think of was one of them toilet roll holders you used to get in the 70s, where it'd be like a knitted thing of a woman with a massive ball gown covering over a toilet roll. I said, get one of them for them. Get a massive ball gown knitted and have it whizzing round. And some guy was like, your brain really scares me, Fox. I'm like, yeah, pretty much. Kind of the order of things. Nobody knows how my brain works. If I don't know how it works, then nobody else has got a chance. So, Cy Reynolds, is this actually a real live sushi counter now with actual real live sushi? Because that would be awesome. I have to investigate my local Sainsbury's when I next can. Because I was saying the two things you need to, if you go to Tesco's, the two things you require legally to buy are packets of sushi, because it's trash food, but the best trash food, and a 12-pack of Krispy Kremes. If it's Tesco. I thought you were going to Tesco's, you see. So other supermarkets are available, of course. Mould line there. La, 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 la. End up in Spoonsbury's. Tesco had a queue, meaning it was rammed. Stuff that I thought. Yeah, I'd stuff that as well. What time are we on? 10 past 5. We might just about get the Slappity hand done. I don't know if we'll get the assemblage that it attaches to done there. I might have to do that out of hours. Or if anybody watches my stream on Colin's channel tonight at midnight, I might finish it there. Get it done and dusted. Then it can go into storage until such time as I can paint it. Right, that's that. And almost clean. I keep wanting to call it a manipulator because that's the Gundam builder in me. The Gundam influence. Manipulator. And just as you think you've got rid of the mould line, you flash it in the light and you can see the mould line. Get. It's fine that you are. I'm desperately not to snap these little spikes. Damn, I can see it. Oh, this mould line is vexing me on this one. Being a challenge. Being a right little challenger. Come on, scrape away. Scrape away, Dick Whittington. That is improved, I think. There was me at the start saying that because it's a new kit, the mould lines aren't that bad. And then this one's like a little step. I have to double check these other ones now. Alright. And yeah, that was a bit harsh. I don't know if you can see any of this. It's all, unfortunately, it is all tiny pieces today. I do apologise. Why I say it's not really about what I'm doing on screen. It's like you're just hanging out with your mates in chat. It's still packaged stuff, but way nicer than Tesco stuff, and it's manned by a member of staff. Not entirely sure if they make it in store or not, but they have banging gyoza and fresh dumplings. Oh yeah, gonna have to check that out. Love me some gyoza. Oh yeah, dumplings, sushi, gyoza. Oh my, yeah. I want my wonton and shumai now. We found one place near me that does takeaway sushi, and that kind of stuff, you know, to deliver. But the problem is, it's a restaurant that doesn't normally do delivery, but of course right now that's the only way they can make any money and do business, so they're doing deliveries. The problem is they're basically charging you restaurant prices for takeout food, which means having a delivery from there is like massively expensive. Mama Foxx found them and ordered some stuff for when it was a birthday, but it was like massively expensive but not a lot of food, which was a shame. It was really nice, but yeah, not something we'll do regularly. Oh, too pricey. That was my first experience of gyoza. I didn't like the cold, the unfried gyoza. They were a bit meh. All I could do was taste the wrapping and not really the contents. I like the fried ones though, with some lamb in them. They were nice. Quite pleasant. Nearly done. Nearly done. I think we're looking quite good on this one. Now, of course, Si making this would spend a week doing just each digit. I can't do that. Don't hate on me, Si. The fact I've only spent a moment or two cleaning these fingers. I'm only joking. That'll look fine once it's got the primers and the paints, I think. I've got an itchy nose. Ooh, excuse me. What's chat doing? Eating raw fish is unnatural. It should be fried, preferably in batter. Ooh, sniffles. We have a fresh one at a local Asda, and they have awesome mochi. You can all stop talking about Japanese food now, because we have no way to get any Japanese food that doesn't cost like a mortgage, as I've just said. So please don't. And I can't go to Tesco's to get some of their cheap and cheerful sushi. So please just stop. Send a telegram. Dear people in chat, stop. Please just stop. Okay, I did all that and then put more dust on it. Right, so there we are. We've got the pieces. So let's make us a hand. Make you a hand. This goes on there like that, you see. Now, luckily, the actual mold, the seam cleanup here is minimal. It's like that bit there. Can't really get in there. And again, a little bit. That's it. It's actually a really minimal cleanup on this thing. Just get this glued together. All glued together. What we'll do as before, we will get some glue in the gap. Where there is a gap, it actually goes together so nicely that it's hard to keep the gap open. Oops, daisy. And a little bit there. There we go. Very gentle. I'm not doing a big massive squeeze on this one because I don't need a massive bead of glue all over the whole thing. A lot of it's going to be covered up by these pipes or the digits themselves. So just there on that bit. And this bit here. There. And the rest of it just looks like normal panel gaps and things that will be in the metalwork. Just those two bits, really. Squeezing, squeezing, squeezing the things away. Oh, and that bit there. We forgot that bit. I did. That little bit of armour there. That's right. Squeeze it out, like. There you go. Lovely. That bit. And then it's simply a case of which blooming finger went where, because I've forgotten now already. Oh, fudge. Fudge-tacular. One of these is the thumb. It's that one. I didn't plan that well, did I? How do hands work? I've forgotten. Are they all the same? I don't know. One. That's good, it stays in place. Helps me figure out which one goes where. 1, 2. That one's not going to stay in though, is it? Gimp. Meh. Meh, I say. You have to make sure you get the fingers in the right place, because it'll look weird if you don't. I think they're all roughly the same. Okay, and that one. Because I forgot to write down which was which, you see, like a spoon. I just cut them all off. Oh well, never mind. Are they all actually exactly the same? Let's just find out. That one is slightly smaller. That goes there. That's obviously that one. That one's the middle one. And that one is about the same length. So that's the pinky. And then these two here, you see, are like that, you see. They're pretty much identicals. So that's the thumb. Thumb. So I think what we should do is we should have the hand doing something awesome. It was difficult to know what position to put fingers and thumbs and things in. Especially when you can't actually fix them in semi-permanently. That middle finger is just a bit of a pain there. If I have... Okay, that works. Alright, I can see a plan now. Hold up, lads. I've got an idea. Right, so we're going to take some fat glue. Fat glue. And I'm going to put it on there. This is just hold it in place temporarily. And that's actually sticking in pretty well anyway. All by its lonesome. Thin glue. Glue that in. Lovely. And then we've got the, which is which? That's the little finger there. That's the pinky. That's the pinky. There. That one. Is this one next? You know, I can hear a wood pigeon outside, and I have to tell you, I was reading up about wood pigeons, as one is wont to do when you're sitting outside in the summer months with not much else to do. And there's wood pigeons everywhere driving you nuts. And one thing I've never been able to shake out my head since I read this was it was trying to describe how to describe or identify the call of a wood pigeon. And it basically said, because it was kind of given onomatopoeic descriptions of bird sounds, and it just writes in words like twit or tweet 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 or whatever. But for wood pigeons, it just said the call sounds like my knee hurts Betty, my knee hurts Betty, my knee hurts Betty, my knee. And I'm like, I can't not hear that now. Every time I hear a wood pigeon, my knee hurts Betty. I'm like, oh damn it. It's spot on though. Right, so I'm going to have him like this. So it's kind of going, ha! I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. Not quite a grabby hand. It's not quite a Time Lord hand either, but, you know, a typical like Doctor Who publicity shot Time Lord. You know what I mean by that. There you go. That's a reasonable pose. That glued in. So it's going to be kind of like that. So as if he's really focusing on this one firing. He's going spew pew, but this one's kind of going. Oh, I know what I mean in my mind. In my mind, it makes perfect sense. There we have the hand of Slappity, almost. I'm not going to glue the armour on the top. I don't. Or am I? No, I'm not going to glue the armour on because again, we'll get all this paint. The irony is you'll put the armour on, it'll cover all of that up, but I can't remember if you can see underneath the armour at all. So I want to make sure the armour's painted first, and then when it comes to gluing it, we'll just scrape the paint away from the relevant parts and glue it together. And that's the hand. There we go. Quite a thoughtful pose, if I do say so myself. But we need to see if we can do anything with the arm. Let's see if we can get that done. Hello, throw my glue around. We can do the arm quickly. Oh, Mr. Reynolds, I'm jealous, says Mayhem, about sushi. And my local one is a good 3 hours away. Brother-in-law is a Sparky by trade and goes there regularly. And that's the other side of Glasgow. We used to make books for Costco, says Panzer. Lee Stevens says, look in the frozen section. Little Moon Mango Ice Cream Mochi. Ooh, don't know what any of that means. I don't know what mochi is. Right, let's see if we can get this done. So, this thing had a mould line down the middle of it. That's probably going to be still too early for me to try and fix that now. Clean it up, but let's just try. Let's try and see what can happen. What's the worst that can happen? Is, well, the worst that can happen is we can't do anything else. Let's try a little section where it's not going to be that visible. Here. That's not so bad. Need to file that rather than scrape it because it's got a big nub. Big nub! We'll file the nub away first. Remember, I glued this together first before doing this just so I could maintain the curve. Curve. Have you seen those warriors from Hammerfells? Curved swords. Curved swords. Heard they're reforming the Dawn Guard. Vampire hunters or something. Yeah, you can tell I play a lot of Skyrim. That's cool. We can get rid of this. This is something I couldn't really do as easily once it was installed. This is why I had to leave this for the moment. I couldn't really do this while it was installed because it would have been a bit tricky to get to. So doing it now is the best bet. Really. See if we can get this arm done. What time are we on? 23 minutes past the 5 o'clocks. Yeah, I don't think we'll get it done. At least not fully done. Although you never know. I was looking on that light. Hold it up to the light to make sure. It's got a bit of a dimple where that nub was, so it still needs some work doing to it. So we'll carry on. Whenever you're filing or filling gaps or getting rid of mould lines or anything like that, just do a proper final sense check by holding the thing up to the light just to see. Because what looks fine from whatever angle you're at may not be fully fine from another angle. Like I said before, sometimes it can look like there's a seam line, but there isn't. It's just the plastic is distressed. Sometimes it can look like something is perfectly smooth, when in fact it's actually not. It's desperately in need of more cleanup. Now this bit here is going to be tricky because this is a little ribbed section, matron, which is going to be like a, because this is where the hand goes there, like that, you see. So that is going to be mostly hidden, and it's going to be actually. You're going to see it. That's like it's like a black rubber expansion housing, so it's going to be a dark colour, so I don't have to worry about it too much. But I do need to make it look good, so I can't get away with not clear. Don't have to worry about this ball section to clean up that because it doesn't matter, you're not going to see that. This bit I do need to clean up a little bit. Now it's a little rib texture, so I've got to be kind of careful. I don't want to make too much of a mess of it. I may have to leave that till later when it's dried a bit more. Oh, well then again, actually, it might be alright. It is going to be a dark colour to suggest like a rubber expansion housing. Like you get on a gear stick in a car, you know, the sort of rubber shoe that goes around the, or boot that goes around the, that's the wrong tool. That goes around the gear sticks, that kind of thing, to the joint where the hand goes in. I've got some room for manoeuvre on that. Not too bad. Quite aggressive enough, that file. There you go, I can feel the bite, now it's better. sometimes when you're doing this, you just have to get aggressive with it. You have to accept there'll be some aggressiveness sometimes. It is the only way forward in certain situations. Scraping the crud out from between. I don't like using the knife, but sometimes you have to. There we go. Better when that's painted, it won't be noticeable. Now, of course, we've smoothed it down a little bit, so I'm going to go in with the scribing tool into the little recesses and just clear out the splooge that's in there as well. Because you've still got the mould line in there, or the glue that's splooged out with the seams. See, I know the difference between mould lines and seams, but I always use the wrong one in conversation. Most annoying. There, clean that out. So yeah, two of the most indispensable tools you can have, any kind of mould line remover, like that, any kind of scribing tool. Absolutely the tools I use the most. And now, just to smooth that all the way for sure, I'll get some extra thin. I'll get the brush damp, not dripping wet, and I'll just run it along there, and that smooths it away. There. Now you'd never know there was a mould line, seam line running down there. Don't need to worry about this thing, that doesn't really matter. But the same on that side to do. Do. Yes, I'm looking forward to doing lots of things on the eModels channel. Lots of Warhammer builds for the eModels guys. Partially because it'll be a way for me to paint things I've already painted before, perhaps, but had fun painting, like, you know, Bane Blades. And I've not painted with Bane Blade yet, but I'm sure I will have done by the time. Like, I'd love to paint another Stormwolf. I can't really do myself another Stormwolf series on my channel because I've got one already, but I can film another one for the guys at eModels. Be jolly good fun. I shall have a look at chat in a moment. Dear hearts, do not fret. For some reason, cleaning up these kind of like, I don't know what you call them, let's just call them boots or expansions. These kind of like rubber-esque expansion joint boot cover things. Let's just call them gear shift boots. You know what I mean when I say that. It's quite satisfying. I don't know why, I just enjoy doing these bits. Doesn't mean I want to go and do like a Federation nacelle though, because that's a similar idea, but no. That's not as much fun. Now see, I'm putting a lot of scratches and scrapes in there with the scribing tool, but that's where, first of all, a soft sander comes in. Up to light, make sure it's looking good. And then that's where your extra thin comes in. It just softens any little scrapes and scratches. Smooths it all out there. Perfect. All that work will be covered up when you stick a dirty, great big slappy claw on it. And it becomes invisible. Because it'll become that. It's the work we do for the little results. In all likelihood, whatever pose I decide to have the hand in, you guarantee it'll probably cover up that mould line anyway. So, yeah. Right, let's just do this little thing here. Pistony bit. All I can think about is my Chinese now. Nom 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 nom. Don't care about anything now, just want to eat my food. Really shouldn't mention food to you guys whenever I do a stream. I always end up talking about food and I always get really, really hungry. I should just not mention food at all. Ever. Now these little recesses here, these will be given a black wash or a dark wash, whatever colour it ends up being. Might be a bronze colour, but it will be given a dark brown or black wash anyway. So again, like before, doesn't need to be super clean in there, because once it's got a wash in there and it's blacked in, if I want it to be really dark, I'll actually get some black ink in there. So if there's a slight little ridge in there where the seam was, that's fine. You're not going to see it because it'll be dark. But again, bit of the extra thin glue just to clean up the edges so it looks nice and crisp. So I can't remember when I figured it out, but just when I realised that you can use glue to smooth things off, I was like, I don't know how I didn't know that, but that's the best thing ever. It really is a little trick that it might not, it's so obvious that it's not obvious. Little trick that you might not realise. Foxx mochi is Japanese sweet made from rice and has an amazing squishy texture. Ooh, I need that. The call of the pigeon in general is ooh ooh. Yeah, my knee hurts, Betty. My knee hurts, Betty. My knee. That's because we get them in our garden around here, and they're dead loud. It's not like a pretty blackbird that you could sit and listen to through your bedroom window when you wake up in the morning. It's more just like somebody going, "Hey, I'm a bird. Hey, I'm a bird. Hey, I'm a bird." Dead loud. It's just really annoying. They're nice and I like them, but they're annoying. Foxx, people in chat, stop us in chat. How about no? Wait, what did I tell you to stop doing? No. To me, the call of the wood pigeon means dinner might be free tonight. Yay! They are as agile as lead bubbles, says Mayhem. You mean about wood pigeons? Absolutely. The wood pigeons we've got in our garden, in the summer when we can sit outside, it's quite good. We like to sit and watch them because they are just the dumbest creatures you've ever seen. I mean, they are just dumb. We've got like a little metal archway that the vines grow up, a little metal thing, just a metal tube, shiny metal tube. And they land on top of it and they just sit there and go and slide down it. And they haven't figured out just not to land on it yet. And you see them sliding down, they try and recover and get back up again. They're just so stupid. They am so stupid. Right, so we've got that bit done. Let us consider now what our options might be. We have to do this, you see, first of all. This goes in here. Now this needs to go, if I actually look at the instructions and not just try and remember what the instructions said, that would be the first step to success. That goes like that. This goes like this here, you see? There, to see? That goes that way. Not gluing this in place yet. And then this sticks out of the bottom. Ooh, matron. Heavens to Murgatroyd. That sticks out there like that, because that's where the hand goes. Like that. No, it doesn't. Not like that at all. Your spoon is like that. You see? There you go. That sticks out like that. It's kind of rude. It's just kind of rude looking. Let's discuss it no further. So that sticks down like that. So I need to make sure that's wiggly woggly so I can position it, and this one is wiggly wobbly so I can position that. Somebody outside is hitting something with much hitting. And now we're going to have the same situation here when I come to clean this up later on. There's going to be a little seam there. That'll be another little bit of plastic card to seal that, I think. What I can do here, I'm going to end up... The trick I've got here is, again, I don't want this to be locked in place until I've decided where it's going to go on the arm. But to glue this together, it risks getting this stuck in place. So I'm going to be really careful now. This is the other reason I couldn't use fillers on the other bit straight away, was because I couldn't put a lot of glue in that joint on the other arm because I didn't want it to lock that in place. I slathered glue all over it, of course it would just run into the bit where the arm is and cause me the problems. Here I can do it a little bit. Keep that moving so it's not going to stick. We've got a tier that looks like that, apart from this wedge sticking out the front. I think we might get away with that. That's still wiggly woggly, that's fine. Wibbly wobbly. I like the fact on this one the mould line is down the middle and not down this recessed bit, thank goodness. Mould lines on recessed bits is a pain in the backside. But the mega size RX-78 too, there was, I think if I remember right, there's like one mould line you had to clean up and it was inside a recess, and I'm like, oh you gits. I'm supposed to even deal with that. That's not even a thing I can deal with. Now this needs to go. We have some tubes and pipes. That one and that one. So the big one goes on the left. Oops, throwing. Roger, throwing now. There's there and then there. Okay. That's cool. I like that. So that can just simply not go in the hole properly. That's almost pretty much glued in place anyway by itself. Got to be careful with the glue on the bottom though. I don't want it to glue the wrist in place. That's there. I don't remember these pipes on the last night I built. This bit here. It's going to make cleaning up the mould line tricky, but it also covers up a lot of the seam line. Seams and moulds. This bit goes, I should have done the little one first, shouldn't I really, because it's hard to get to now. In there. Perfect. It just slots into place with no effort. Carefully apply some glue, just the tiniest amount, that bit. Make sure it's in. Very carefully push it into place with a knife. I can hear it. Not a wood pigeon now, but a dove. It doesn't make the same sound as the wood pigeon. Right, so that is there. Those are a little bit tenuous, but once they've dried, they'll be stuck in place forever and ever. There we go, lovely. A bit of a breathe. Put that there, gently. Where we're up to. Like duck looks huge and full of meat, then you realise that 50% of the appearance is feathers. I don't know what we're talking about there. Oh, you mean wood pigeons? Yes. It was an Aldi limited edition duck pizza, not very nice. I heard the omelettes were such a size. Duck on pizza. Wait, I've lost track of what the conversation's doing now. It's just gone too bizarre. Mayhem says, pigeons, you mean duh. What? Wood pigeons. I'm talking about wood pigeons. We don't actually get pigeons in them. Occasionally we get like a feral pigeon in our garden, but not very often. The wood pigeons see them off. William Rayburn has just had homemade burger and chips / fries. Very nice. Duck is made of yum, says Muse. Hey Muse. I quite like duck, but I prefer lamb. It's similar to lamb for me. I don't quite know why, in terms of the eating experience. Mayhem's having homemade chili. Muse says, I suppose I should get moving. I must adult today. I do apologise if I haven't spotted you in chat before now, Muse. If you've been in chat doing chatting. I've not been able to keep track of chat very well today. But take care. Thanks for coming in. We've got them pistons, don't we? Pistoniums. These two need to glue together. We need to glue together. Fairly straightforward. Peg, hole. Like that. So they go together like that. Like a horse and carriage, don't you know? Put the glue down the middle. Where it sets locked into place. I can somehow try to finagle it into there. That goes between those two. Just while I've got some play in it. Goes between those two there. trickier than I thought. Kaplink, kaplink. It doesn't say not to glue it, but it does lock into place anyway, so that's a meaty look. I like that. I don't remember this from the last time I did an Imperial Knight with these particular bits on the hand, so maybe it's different, but I like those pistons at the back. See, I do like the way, although it's made up nonsense and shenanigans, I do like the way that Games Workshop kind of logically, especially on Knights, they logically add pistons and things that make kind of sense. Like that bit there, you've got... It suggests that this bit, although that bit maybe not so much. The piston here that doesn't, because this can't go, I don't know how that works. It suggests that bit can rotate, so that's when that piston gets longer, but I don't know what that would change. I don't. Was it meant to suggest perhaps that this bit here sticking out is part of that bit? That'd be cool. And then you'd have the hand on the end of that. Slappity hand, slappity hand, slappity hand. So then we do need to put the bit on the end where the arm attaches, which I might be able to do. We've got 15 minutes. Can I do it? Can I do it? Yeah, can I? Of course I can. 96 and 90. Let's find 96 and 90. It'll be easy to find because they're enormous. Yeah. Slappity hand, slappity hand, slappity hand. Slappity hand, boom. If you didn't grow up in the 1980s in the UK, you won't know any of that tune and what it means. Now I can glue these bits on, but I can clean them up later. Like clean up the gap. Any last little bits of cleanup, and what I'll do on Colin's stream tonight, I'm on me and Colin on his channel at midnight tonight. Festus Friday Frolics with Foxx, apparently is what we're calling it now. I will just finish any little bits of cleanup and get all the bits of armour off the sprue there, just because it's only like an hour's work. There's not enough to do another one of these streams, basically. What I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. There's not enough left to do another one of these streams, so this will be the last one. Go, and that one. A little bit of eight, little bit of eight. There you go. Lovely. Snippety doo dah. Now these I can file because it's not two halves that go together. I can very quickly just smooth that nub away. Smoothing the nub away. These bits here, there's a nub there and a nub there. I'm not going to clean those up because I need to make sure I maintain the circularity. I don't think there's a mold line on this. Not that I can see, which is fine and dandy. So as we've done this before, this now goes into like that. And that one, I think it's that way around. Yes. That way and that way. That goes in there like that. Those two lock together. So I need to glue this top bit. Because I can glue the actual... Oh, hang on. Why is it not going together very nicely there? Why 40 to give me problems? Me? Something is amiss here. Go that way. Let's go that way. So that goes there. That way. That comes this way. Huh? Hang on, brain moment. That's the back one there. So that's the back one. Goes like that. Oh, I just did push it in like a proper grown-up big boy. That piston needs to go in that hole there, basically. I was being special. That goes in there, that goes in there. You've got pretty much no movement in that whatsoever. Your movement's all there. So what I can do is I can glue that in completely. And then all we need to do then is figure out where the hand's going to go. So I'll glue this on now. It says not to glue this bit, but you literally, there's a little tiny bit of, oh actually there's a little bit of play. Alright, well I'll leave that not glued for the moment. I'll glue this top bit together though, because this is where we'll need to do some cleanup. This top bit here. You can't really see these that well when you see it in situ, but I shall make the effort. Make sure there's cleanup occurring. Zip, squish and squish. What I'll do is I'll get the arm in place, like we did last time. I'll get the arm in place and then glue it all into a pose that I like. I can't put this on now because it's got wet glue all over it. Well, wet glue! So basically that will sit like that. It will sit on the torso, which should pick up a ball. I'll sit on the torso there like that. This arm, of course, has the las impulsor, which I need to clean up. The idea is he's shooting that, and this one, which I can't really put in place yet, will be like, you know, like if you fire, like you'll see people like they'll have one, like a Han Solo pose, a gun out like that, and the other arm is like off to the side and sideways, so it'll be like kind of maximum extension there, perhaps. And then the hand maybe like that. That will work perfectly. But I'll make sure, I'll wait till I can put this arm on the side and have the las impulsor installed on the other side. And then I'll probably glue that into a pose there. And I'll glue this into an angle. And then I'll glue the hand on. So as if he's like counterbalancing himself while he fires his big ass gun. But I think then, because that's, other than getting some bits of armour off the sprue, that's kind of everything. So what I shall do, I shall put that there. I'll put them in there while they do their drying thing. I'll get legs back. Now I know the camera's at the most rubbish angle in the world, so maybe I'll drop the camera down a bit. Maybe a bit better. Might go out of focus a bit now. I know it's going to fall off because all that weight is on this side. And I know the focus is probably knackered. I know many things. Let's see if I can get the cockpit and Gefahrten in. I need to get all the armour off. Put my lenses back on again so I can see. All the armour comes off. That goes in there. Cockpit goes in there like that, and the cockpit, that thing falls out. Fantastic. Excellent. Exactly the outcome I was looking for. I know you can't see any of this that I'm doing now. I'm nothing if not maximally inept, you know that. Needs to go there. Really quite tricky, this. It goes there exactly. I don't know. Goes there like that. The arm, the doors. Oh, the door won't stay in place because I've not got the side bits of armour on. Side bits of instrument panel, so we'll have to just leave that door off. Get that off again. It's going to be tricky. So let's get the cockpit in place. Probably going to fall out. Not going to stay in place. It's worth a laugh, isn't it? Put that on there. That will go on. No, it's going to fall out. If I can put it, it won't sit in there though, will it? It will not sit. Let's try. Get this thing off. There's no point in me doing this at all. I'm just doing this purely for vanity and to see what it looks like. If I turn the body upside down, that might work. Then my pilot will fall out, but hey. If I turn that upside down and do a bit of jiggly jiggly, oh, the arm falls off. That's always a winner. There will be an easy way to do this, and that'll be having everything glued in properly. But for now, we don't have that luxury. I've done this before. I'm sure I've done this already once before. Although I don't blue tacked in, didn't I? So that's the major difference. Get some blue tack. Where's my blue tack? Gentlemen, I have a moment of blue tack desires and need. There. Blue tack in there. Splonge. Blue tack in. Ain't going nowhere. Shut up. Sit down. Get in your car. There you go. Get in your walkie-walkie space car. There you go. Good lad. For some reason, the carapace does seem to fit better once the cockpit's in, which is kind of weird. Put his arm back on. Go. That'll now fall over probably. And lean to one side. Don't think I can get the door in because it'll just close automatically. There's nothing to keep it open, unfortunately, because I've not got the instrument panels in there. So we'll leave that door off. But I don't want to risk putting the arm on. But you get the impression now. We'll have this gun out like that, shooting. The other arm will be out sideways like that, as if he's counterbalancing himself. And that is our, aside from the fact it's not in focus, 1 second. Focusing. Almost had it. There we go. There we go. So aside from the fact he's, I could have him at a jaunty angle. He doesn't have to be straight on, you see. I could have him at a jaunty angle. Because he can be looking that way. He's shooting there, though, isn't he? So he needs to be looking over there. I'll figure out a pose. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But that will be our Imperial Knight Canis Rex. Save for some tidy up and a few armour pieces that I need to get sorted out. That is our Imperial Knight Preceptor CANIS Rex with Sir Hector Cerberon, the Princeps for this knight, built. In sub-assemblies, ready for painting later on. Now, like I've said, I am waiting on stock replenishments from Games Workshop to eModels to actually get this thing painted. So as soon as that happens, I will then set off doing the painting tutorial. So keep your eyes peeled in the coming weeks or months for the painting tutorial for this. That's looking pretty good. But you see, I hope you can see, if you've never built an Imperial Knight before, you've never seen how big they are. This is how big they are. They're not massive, but they're not tiny. And in terms of the lore, that's a person compared to it. So you can see they are big machines. But I hope, maybe it's intrigued you. It's a really nice build. It's not complicated at all to build. It's difficult when you do it on a live stream because you've got things to think about. When you just sat at your workbench building it, you can get one of these built in a couple of days. Or a day, even if you're not me. They are great fun. So if you've been thinking about it, I do recommend you pick one up. They are awesome. Well, that's going to do us. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, of course, this is a show for eModels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for all your model making needs. They are back open as normal now. So if you are local, or if you're thinking of popping in, do feel free to pop in or give them a call if you want to have a chat with them. I will be back tonight, midnight, on Colin's channel, Fester 67's Workshop, for the Fester and Foxx Friday Frolics, or whatever it's called. Friday Frolics with Fester and Foxx, I think, or Fester's Friday Frolics with... We need to work on that title. Friday Frolics with Fester and Foxx, that sounds better. Anyway, we'll figure that out. I'm back at midnight. Tomorrow I'm back on Saturday on my channel for Skyrim Saturday, and of course Warhammer Sunday on my channel again. And then we'll be back on Monday for the eModels Monday. So we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Links to eModels and stuff, everything in the description below this video, so do go and check it out. Until next time, I'll have a quick last look at chat. Mayhem says, looks up dictionary and checks entry for inept and finds a picture of Foxx with a grin and 2 thumbs up. Exactly. My man, you need some blue tack. I did indeed. Let's have a look. Maintain the Pi 4 radiansness. Retro valve inspection of the primary and secondary hydraulic infuser. I remember Kenny Everett bending Terry Wogan's wand mic. Oh yeah. Festus Frolics goes along with Festus Fluids. Steady Neris. I had a duck with Dauphinoise potatoes once. It was nearly a religious moment. Oh, Dauph potatoes. Potatoes? Potatoes even. If it did, Retro Rabbit says, if it doesn't sit, you must acquit. Yes. Underdog Paintings in. Hello, peeps. Hey, Underdog. Welcome. Coming in right at the end there. Welcome. Thank you for coming in anyway. There's always one, isn't there? If it doesn't fit, if it doesn't sit, it won't fit. Cat logic. If it fits, it sits. That's some mighty fine focus. Thank you. Everyone's saying goodbye and be safe. Yes, so anyway, I will see you all, or some of you, tonight at midnight, 11:59 tonight on Colin's channel, and then over the weekend. Until then, I shall say, take care of yourselves, Go make something awesome. Get yourself an Imperial Knight, either this one or one of the other ones. Get yourself an Imperial Knight. Go be awesome. And stay tuned for the painting series for this. But until then, take care. I'll make sure my buttons work. Hang on.
Slap it on.
Yeah, my buttons are working. Take care of yourselves. Go be safe. Worm ask, of course. And until next time, don't knock it. Until next time, don't knock it. I've got to find my button for ending. There it is. Until next time, I didn't know which button it was that's for my titles. I'll shut up now. Adios, amoebas.